lost in decay. President down in the ruins. They sent the snake today. Eye patch and cobra, hair long and gray. One day to get out alive, or they blow him away. Clock is ticking down, streets full of wolves, gangs, and the Duke waiting for fresh blood. Escape from New York, island of the damned. Snake-plissed skins crawling through the wasteland. No hero, just a man with nothing left to lose. One shot through hell in the city of no rules. Practical fire, blood on the concrete floor. Snyder's got the vision, raw and hardcore. No capes, no chrome, just sweat, steel and dirt. Back to the roots, where the real pain hurts. They turned the city to a prison, now the prison's awake. Anti-hero walking every step a mistake. Practical shadows, practical screams. This ain't a movie, it's a bad dream. Escape from New York, island of the damned. Snake-plissed skins crawling through the wasteland. No mercy, no glory, just the will to survive. In the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man thrives. Tick-tock, tick-tock. New York, New York.
Oops. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome. It's Hollywood After Dark. It's Monday. It's the 1st of June, right? We're halfway into the year. Can't say we're halfway done, but we're halfway there. Kind of, it's kind of an optimistic time for movies halfway in. Doesn't it feel that way, right? After the course of this weekend obsession and back rooms doing gangbusters. Mandalorian and Grogu, not so much. I feel bad. I do. I feel bad. I think Disney kind of miscalculated a little bit on that one. But at the same time, not really. This movie was literally being made to put out there to kind of like clear the path for getting Starfighter. I talked about this last week, the metaphor about having sex for the first time. It's kind of getting it out of the way. Good, bad, or the other. You just kind of knock that thing off your list. You're like deflowered. And then you move on with your day and you go and you get something better. You don't got that nerve racked up anymore, right? That pressure's off of you, And so I think that's kind of what's been happening here. It still sucks, though. It's still a really good movie. Still a really good film. But Gen Z showing up right now, man, for fucking horror movies. Kind of crazy to think about. People that normally like have no loyalty to shit are like, hey, man, 2 fucking YouTubers are doing movies. Let's go check it out. And word of mouth is quite good. Haven't seen Obsession yet. Need to give it a watch. Did watch Backrooms. In fact, my review just went up over on Pondio Commentary. Masterpiece with an asterisk, meaning it's almost there, not all the way there. But I got some thoughts about the ending of the movie. Also, here, just want to point this out. Reason why I didn't center up the image here. Right, it's a little off kilter, a little off center there. I was kind of mimicking the liminal aesthetics of what we got out of fucking out of Backrooms. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing it again, but I really I have thoughts about the ending of that fucking movie. Let's take a look here at the chat. Shiny, what's up, man? Says the song is pretty good. Yeah, man, fucking nothing like some dark 80s synth to get the night going. I really dug it. That one turned out pretty good. I wasn't expecting the female vocals, but like really kind of locked and loaded there. Mo here says, "Sup, nerds." Yeah, Mo, you do yell that at your junk before you're going to go to town on yourself. You're like, "Sup, nerd," and you beat your own dick to a fucking pulp. Is that how you do it? I think that'd be pretty solid. All right. Let's see. Parallax says halfway through hell. We ain't halfway through hell yet, brother. All right. That ain't happening until January 20th, 2028. Okay. That's when we're halfway through hell. All right. That's the thing. Wait for that one there. The Bell Reeve. What's up, Bell? How you doing, girl? Hope things are well. You still up there? You're north of me now, right? Weather is finally turning. That's good. Nice weather we're getting up here. Can't decide if it wants to be super hot or chilly as shit, but it's still very nice. And, I'm liking that quite a bit. Otis here says he's living on a prayer. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see. Garrick here for a $5 kicking off the week super chats. Buddy, thank you. Says, what do you think of Obsessions and Backrooms eating the Mandalorian and Grogu's lunch at the box office? What lessons should Disney learn from this? Couple things. One, Memorial Day weekend is no longer a sure bet. That's just the reality of it. We've been saying that for a long fucking time. We've been saying that since like 2018. It's been 8 fucking years. All right. Like, it's been a long time since Solo came out. Weird to think it's been that long, but it's been that long since Solo came out. And that's not a guarantee anymore. Okay, Solo bombed. I think 2017 Memorial Day weekend bombed. 2015 Tomorrowland bombed. What was 2016's Memorial Day weekend? I forget. Right? No, 2017 I think was Pirates of the Caribbean #5. Right? Like, I mean, it was fucking. They've learned that these movies don't do well necessarily on those days. That's a problem. Nobody was expecting Backrooms to do what it did. Nobody was. Not even A24. They're like, at this point, they're going like, fuck. Because like now they've got to deliver on a sequel and they've got to greenlight that shit fucking now, dude. Now they got to get on that shit. But let me talk quickly about Mandalorian and Grogu. So Mandalorian and Grogu would definitely have been better if it was a winter release, right? At this point, Star Wars is not a summer movie brand. When they brought it back in 2015 in December and it did $2.2 billion, okay, like at that point, it's solidified winter films. Okay, The Last Jedi did over $1 billion. Rogue One did over $1 billion. The Rise of Skywalker did over $1 billion. Solo and Mandalorian both petered out, are petering out in the summertime. Star Wars is no longer a summertime franchise. It is a wintertime franchise. The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 came out over the winter. I think the Book of Boba Fett was like early in the year. I think it launched on like New Year's Eve or some shit like that. Okay, but still technically winter. You know what I mean? Like Ahsoka, summer. Okay, Skeleton Crew, I want to say summerish. Star Wars is a winter franchise. That's what it is now. That's where it's got to be. Disney needs to learn from that shit. Additionally, the biggest problem with Mandalorian and Grogu coming out at this time of year is this is a movie for dads. Masters of the Universe is a movie for dads. Father's Day isn't until June 21st. Okay, and what movie is coming out that weekend? Toy Story 5. What's it looking to gain? $175 million. Supergirl is dwarfed, by the way. We're talking dwarfed, dead, left in a dumpster. Holy fuck. There's no competing with Toy Story 5. And then 2 weeks after that is goddamn fucking Minion Monsters. Okay, like Gen Z ain't showing up for Supergirl. They're not showing up for Millie Alcock. I'm sorry, they're not. They're not going to do it. Maybe Jason Momoa because of Game of Thrones and shit. But here's the thing, though. It's like Mandalorian and Grogu, good movie, great movie, love it. Of Backrooms, great film up until the very end. Okay, I need to watch Obsession still. But from what I've seen of Obsession, it looks pretty good, so I want to see it. You know, and the thing with Obsession, though, is it was supposed to hit digital tomorrow, but they've now pushed it back for a while to see how long they can ride this wave theatrically, which is interesting because Universal, generally speaking, will release a film on digital while it's still doing well in theaters in order to still kind of play the dual market. In this particular case, given how much money just based on word of mouth Obsession is made, totally makes all the sense in the world while they're holding it. And it will be out there soon enough. That's going to be perfectly fucking fine. So let's see here. March and April would have done better than maybe. I still think wintertime. I still think Christmas. All right. But Kenobi came out during the summer. Just as another thing on that one there. Parallax here says, I was speaking with H. Bartz about Star Wars, and I told him Kenobi and Ahsoka could have been films during the dark ages between the Rise of Skywalker and Mando. They could have been. And all things considered, I think there is a movie version of Kenobi floating out there. Somebody edited it together in a much more tighter 2-hour experience. And that could have been a movie. Ahsoka could. I don't know if Ahsoka could have been a film or not. I haven't seen season 1 yet. I'm waiting to kind of marathon it before season 2. And so, yeah, that's a big thing of what's going on. There's a lot there that could have happened to make Mandalorian and Grogu a bigger success, right? And I do feel that a large part of it also has to do with the fact that they build it as a low stakes endeavor, right? They went like, this movie's low stakes. There's really nothing to worry about. You just go in and you watch it. You don't have to know anything. I think that's kind of retarded because you can't sit there and have these characters that you build up the way that you build them up on the small screen and then not have any of that carry over. Because if you've done your homework, then you're going to feel cheated. And if you haven't done your homework, you're going to feel like something is missing. And that's one of the biggest problems. We also have to remember that The Mandalorian and Grogu, all things considered, ended up being made kind of on a whim. All right. It wasn't like something they were planning. It wasn't like something that they were going to go do. Disney just like calls up Jon Favreau. It's like, hey, Johnny boy, what you doing? You sitting down? You should sit down for this. It's pretty good. So we know that you're currently balls deep in production for season 4 of Mandalorian. I get that. But listen here, Johnny boy, what we need you to do is we need you to come on out. We need you to make a Mandalorian and Grogu fucking movie. Can you do that for me, Johnny boy? Can you make me a fucking movie? That's what happened. Literally. That's what happened. They're like balls deep in fucking pre-production on season 4 of The Mandalorian, and then all of a sudden it's like, come make me a movie, and they're like, fucking shit, dick, cock, fuck, that's what so like that's kind of the problem, you know what I mean? That's an issue there. Here we go. We got a $5 from Garrick. Thank you, buddy. With Star Wars Starfighter is set for May 28th, 2027. Should Disney move the date? Is it doomed? It's doomed. It's doomed. Like, it's absolutely fucking doomed. Whatever Disney's got going to theaters in Christmas of 2027 should be pushed in order or moved up, depending on how far along it is in production, in order to put Star Wars Starfighter there. And Star Wars Starfighter needs to not tie into the sequel trilogy. I'm sorry, it fucking doesn't. They don't need to go that way. That's a really bad fucking idea. Because going down the path of the sequel trilogy, man, there's no love for it. There's no fucking love. No one is out there saying, like, give me more sequel trilogy. Not one fucking person. And if they are, they're lying. No, but I mean that. I do. I mean that. Like, if you ask people, right? Like, I had a guy the other day, this older gentleman the other day as a passenger. We're talking and whatnot. And he starts, and we bring up Star Wars. And, he's older than me. And he goes, I loved it when I was a kid. But I mean, Disney, man, like, they didn't do a good job with it. And I'm going like, okay. And I told him, I said, look, man, I unequivocally love The Force Awakens. I agree with you about like Last Jedi. And he just stops and he goes, why the fuck did Luke throw the lightsaber? Right. And I'm like, there we go. Random dude, right? Random older guy is still pissed off eight years later that Luke Skywalker just hucks his fucking lightsaber. Right. Like Luke just goes, fuck this shit and throws it. Because it confuses the audience. It's shocking. It's meant to be shocking, all those things. But it was like so ridiculously stupid. It was so ridiculously dumb. All right, then you got like the whole him drinking the milk thing, and then you got him just fucking dying because I'm tired. Look, I force projected myself all the way across the galaxy, and I'm just gonna die because I'm fucking tired. Take a nap, bitch. You ain't dead. I hate that fucking revisionist shit. I really fucking do. All right. Look, one of the dumbest, as much as I love A New Hope, one of the dumbest things in that movie is Obi-Wan dying by like not getting killed by Vader, but like, actually like giving into the Force and shit. All things considered at that point in time, like Obi-Wan should have just been like, take the hit, and then his body just goes to the Force instantly. But there's this weird revisionist bullshit when it comes to Star Wars. It's so weird. It's like, look, is this a movie for kids? No, it's a movie for like, like preteens and dads. That's what The Mandalorian and Grogu is for. It is. Nothing wrong with that. There's not a goddamn thing fucking wrong with that. It's good shit. Okay, it's good shit. But that's what it's for, and they need to like realize where the fuck their audience is. Okay, and I'm telling you, it's fucking true. these goddamn fucking people, man. These people online are trying to like hold it to this thing like, no, you got to go forward. You got to go to the sequel trilogy. No, man. Nobody's asking for it. You got people repeatedly saying like for 20 fucking years now, where's KOTOR? Where's KOTOR? Where's KOTOR? EA comes out and they go, okay, fine, we're not going to do KOTOR 3. We're going to give you guys the old Republican MMO. All right, cool. We still want more KOTOR. Disney has the rights of KOTOR. Revan became canon in the Rise of Skywalker fucking art book. So we know that Revan exists. We know that all of these things exist. All right? We know all this shit. It's just kind of fucking, it's ridiculous though that like they won't listen. And honestly, I think a lot of it's Kathleen Kennedy. Okay? Because it's like Kathleen Kennedy was very much the one who like greenlit this movie, greenlit Mandalorian and Grogu. And Kathleen Kennedy, this is like her swan, like, well, no, Star Wars Starfighter is like her swan song, so to speak. But this movie is like, even she's like, her name's, you know, all over it. And now she's no longer there to take the blame. Dave Filoni will take the blame. Make no mistake, this is how Hollywood operates. All right. Filoni just got the job a few months ago after Picture Lock. The script that Favreau wrote, Kennedy greenlit. Bob Iger greenlit. Okay. Like the movie is good. It requires you to watch it more than one time to understand the philosophy that they're going for with the fucking movie. All right. But the fact that you've got 9 minutes and 54 seconds of no dialogue, literally from when Mando says, good luck, kid, to that one dude saying, so you're the one who's been stealing my fish. 9 minutes and 54 fucking seconds. That's a long time. It's a good scene, but it's a long time. You got kids. This is a movie for kids. Kids can't sit fucking still for 30 fucking seconds. And you got them sitting still, looking at a goddamn fucking Muppet walking around a fucking swamp with a stick for 9 minutes and 54 seconds. I could feel adults getting fucking, like, you know, shiftless and shit, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like they should have cut that scene by like 2/3. Not even a half, man. Fucking 3/4 and shit. Cut it down. It's still, in essence, it's a good scene. I like watching Grogu grow, all right? I like that. I like watching the character do what the character's going to do. But at the same time, it's like 9 minutes and 54 fucking seconds. 9 minutes and 54 seconds. That's like 6 seconds shy of 10 fucking minutes. That is how long, that's in that 6 seconds. All right, Parallax would have already nutted 3 times. It's an eternity. It's fucking eternity. And that was their biggest goddamn problem. That was their biggest mistake. You know, was that they did that. And I think that's one of the things that might have hurt a lot of repeat viewing is that I don't want to sit through that 9 minutes again of nothing happening. Even though thematically, right, and even story-wise, things were happening. It drags everything to a crawl. On paper, it makes sense, right? On paper, it makes a lot of sense. But when you're watching it in practice, that's going to be like, I want to see the numbers, the Nielsen numbers of the fast forwarding through that scene. Because I guarantee you, when people get that movie on home video, they get that movie on digital, they get that movie on 4K, they're just going to fast forward through that scene. Because once you watch it once, you don't need to watch it again. You really don't. You honest to God don't. And that is the biggest flaw of the Mandalorian movie, is that scene. And it sucks because I'm being critical, which apparently, by the way, I'm being told today, this is what I'm saying. This is why I say media literacy is dead. All right. Like you guys who listen to me, the few of you that are here, by the way, thank you. You guys know that I like long, drawn out answers to fill the gaps, to put in the information, to let you know what's going on, to try to do it in an entertaining fashion. But I'm a long-winded bitch when it comes to this shit because there's a lot of information to understand and you have to go through it point for point for point for point. I have to do that shit. It's part of my OCD brain. And I had some fucking guy today come at me and he's just like, because I was being critical of Backrooms, right? Even though I say it's a good movie, I'm being critical of the ending. And he's like, why are you talking fucking shit? I'm like, are you fucking... He's like, why have you been attacking this movie? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, for one, I can criticize whatever the fuck I want. 2, I'm like being super supportive of indie filmmakers being at the top of the fucking pile right now. That's great, man. Tear down the goddamn gatekeepers. That's why I support AI filmmaking. Okay. I'm like, when have I been shitting on this movie? I'm like, yeah, I have an issue with the ending of the fucking film, but like, that's about it. And I'm like, are you fucking, I'm like, I swear to God, the more time I spend on Twitter, the more time I'm realizing that people, they don't care. They don't read. They don't pay attention, right? They just want shiny lights and keys jangled in their fucking face. And whatever confirms their biasness the fastest, right? Whatever their cognitive dissonance is. Even last night, H. Bartz and I were fucking bullshitting behind the scenes, right? And I made a joke about Donovan taking anything I say about fucking about 007 First Light. I haven't played it yet, right? If I say anything about it, he's gonna fucking comment on it. So I make a comment about playing Baccarat in the game. And then, like, literally fucking, dude, like, not even 5 minutes later, he's got a fucking screenshot of that shit. So, like, this motherfucker just refreshes my fucking Twitter account. It's just weird. The more you look at it, I'm just bitching to bitch. But, like, it just looks weird the more you bitch at it, or the more you look at it. And you're like, some of these people, I don't know if, like, they need Jesus, or it's one of those scenarios where you just want to slide them a gun with one bullet and be like, either rob a bank or kill yourself. Either way, just go do something. Like, leave me alone. Like, just go do something with your life. I don't care what it is. Anyway, Garrett Care for 5. I'm in a mood tonight. Thank you. Once the new Jumanji movie comes out, this will be the first time Dwayne Johnson has seen something all the way to the end. Is this the last Jumanji movie? It's because the other ones have made a lot of money. And to be fair, they're good. The two other Jumanji movies, they've done 3 Jumanji movies now. No, they're all good. They are all very good. I'll even say this, man. I thought Red One was really good too. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun concept. I liked Chris Morgan's story. I thought Jason, it wasn't Jason, Jake Kasdan's directing was pretty solid. And I think that the Jumanji films are fun. So I want to see what comes up with that. But you're kind of right. Yo, Blue Jay, what's up, man? How you doing, baby? Yeah, long time. I hope you're doing well, man. How's life in Canada? I hope you're doing well. Okay, let me catch up on the chat. Catch up here on the chat there. All right. Okay, hold on. Sorry, there's like a lot of stuff here. I was looking at something else. Okay. All right. The people paying for Fortnite ran out of money, probably. Murdoch here says, I enjoyed Red One. Yeah, man, that was pretty good. I got your member chat, motherfucker. Nope, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm still waiting for the sequel we all want, Moonfall 2. No, okay. Thank you, Mo. I don't really know what to say to that shit. Fart Night. Yeah, there we go. It's you know what? It's a Freudian slip. Am I excited for the America 250 concert? I totally forgot that was even happening. Who's even performing there now? Right? I don't even know who is performing there. I have no idea. Blue Jay thinks Backrooms was good and excited for Scary Movie and Supergirl. I think Scary Movie is going to do really good. Supergirl's toast. Supergirl needs to immediately move to August, to like mid-August, like Labor Day. Fucking, it needs to instantly. It needs to. There's no way. You've got Scary Movie and Masters of the Universe that are going to be cannibalizing each other this weekend. Never mind Backrooms having at least a 50% drop off. So probably around like 40 million for that. Scary Movie's eyeing 45 million. Masters of the Universe is eyeing like $33 million. And then you get, after that, you've got Disclosure Day, which is eyeing, I think, around 50 million. And then after that, it's Toy Story 5, which is $175 million. And then after that is Supergirl, which they're saying is between 45 and 67. But at least, like, you could even argue a 60% drop off for that 175 million. And that's still 70 million in its second weekend. Okay. Like, and the cost of everything is going up, right? Gas is going up. Food is going up. All these costs are going up. People are going to pick and choose. So families are probably going to skip Masters of the Universe because that movie should have come out at Father's Day. They're probably going to skip Disclosure Day, right? Although UFO people are going to be going for that thing like crazy, all right? But they're going to go for fucking Toy Story, and then they're going to go for Monsters and Minions. And then they'll probably skip over and wait for Spider-Man because that's a tested property that's going to do quite well. You can kind of track the family trajectory. So Supergirl. So here's my question for Supergirl then. What's the audience for it? Right? It's not Gen Z. Gen Z don't care. Okay. Like Gen Z's not going to show up for this one, I don't think, because you got Toy Story the next week. And then even then, you got Obsession that's still going to be holding on, and Backrooms is going to be holding on. And it's not that I want to sit here and play like box office, fucking quarterbacking or whatever, right? Like coach, I'm not trying to be an armchair quarterback here. But I do have experience working in movie theaters over the summer, and I have been watching this shit for years. So it's not like what I'm saying is just pulling it out of my fucking sphincter, So it is one of those things where it's like June is packed, July is packed, August is half packed, and maybe they should wait, okay? Well, disclosure days for cinephiles who are fans of Spielberg. Yeah, and there's going to be a fair amount of those. All right. There's going to be a fair amount of those, but I feel like it has like maybe a good one weekend. A good one weekend, right? Gen Z does not care. It does care. That's not a statement. No, Gen Z does not care about Supergirl, dude. Come on. No, not after the summer of Obsession and fucking Backrooms. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, man. You want to get Gen Z, you got to give them things that are on their fucking level. Their fucking level. They're clearly interested in horror. They're clearly interested in stuff that comes out of the YouTube space. All right. Like Millie Alcock and a fucking CGI dog in a weird crow version of Jason Momoa isn't going to pull it off. Unless you plan on going fucking nonstop, I don't really know. You see Blue Boy here. Yeah, it says, I don't know about Disclosure Day. I keep forgetting the movies existed. I mean, I've seen the trailers and I'm not that engaged. I don't know. You know what it is? You know what killed me on it is David Koepp is the screenwriter. Right. So David Koepp wrote Jurassic World Rebirth, which, again, I enjoyed. I had a lot of issue with some of it, but you can tell Koepp's writing style. You can tell Koepp's themes, what he likes to do, what he always likes to do. And I'm just going like, for one, Spielberg has been using the same cinematographer now for 20 years, and he still goes back to the same screenwriter. And I'm going like, Spielberg and David Koepp are in there. We're writing about our mortality part of their life, which is fine. But if Spielberg is going to do something about his own mortality, I'd prefer it be done through the lens of Indiana Jones, or something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Bell Reeve here says Backrooms is the best film of 2026 so far. I mean, it's good, but you got to admit that ending is shit. That ending is terrible. Terrible. That ending is so bad. Like, the ending shits the bed. Okay. And I'm not being hyperbolic, right? Like, I talk about it in my video about Backrooms. Just like the movie has so much going for it. And then it just goes, and I'm like, why? Someone's like, sequel. I'm like, you could do the same without making it, could do that. Bell here says, do you think it's over after Supergirl, or are they going to keep going regardless of the flop? They're going to chalk it up to just like an uneven box office, right? They're going to chalk it up to like Gen Z preferring horror and families preferring, Minions and Toy Story. The movie will, and look, here's the thing. These movies will do very well on digital and PVOD. Okay. They make a lot of money there. So don't mind that. And also Supergirl is going to make probably a decent amount in merch, right? Although I will say this, though, this is kind of weird. I saw this on Sean O'Rourke's Twitter. He was talking, and also on his YouTube, but he was talking about how they have Superman toys from last year that have still been on store shelves and are now on clearance leading up to the release of the new movie, which is going to feature Superman heavily in the marketing once we get to that final, 2-week push. Also considering that they're filming Superman or Man of Tomorrow today. They're filming it right now. And so it's one of those situations to where it's like, they got all these items on clearance. The other day I wake up and I find I'm not even kidding you, crypto Squishmallows, right? Like the little 12 inchers, the smaller ones. My girlfriend found them for $5 each. She bought 2 of them, 1 for each girl. And they come home, the girls come home, they look at them and they're like, who is this? They don't, and they've seen Superman a couple times. They know who Crypto the dog is, and they're looking at the Squishmallow like, who is this? And they've not once engaged with it, right? Like they've not once engaged with it. And it's not like my 6-year-old and my 8-year-olds are critics, Okay, Brandon, I know you're here. All right. It's not like my 6-year-old and my 8-year-old are fucking film critics. They're children. But they don't have, like, again, these properties, these movies, these stories are not being told. They say kids, they mean like teens and like young adults and shit. That's the market. That's always been the fucking market. Okay. But Obsessions and Backrooms are sucking all the air out of all of that shit. They're sucking all the air out of that. And I'm telling you right now, based upon this, I think the next movie that's going to blow up like that is Resident Evil. No, dude, not Gen Alpha, Gen Z. They're the 18 to 25 crowd. Oh my God, would you stop drinking? Spherical Man, what's up, buddy? I saw Backrooms this weekend as well. Just curious, would you agree that the song bat at the end during the credits is important to the movie? I feel it was kind of hint. The song I don't remember the song at the end of the movie. I was paying more attention to what it was showing me versus what it was. What song was it at the end of the movie? Because I was paying more attention to what they were, shitting the bed with. Let's see here. Okay. If it was Sydney Sweeney as Power Girl, then they might have a chance. I mean, considering that, like, she's got no problem with the nudity. Rock it while you got it. I mean, yeah, man. I know a lot of, millennial dudes that would show up for that as well. You can watch Euphoria all you want and then go see it on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch Euphoria, but I've seen the good bits. Let's see. All right. Let's see. I think Supergirl is going to be a banger movie-wise, and Alcock is going to give a strong performance. Box office is just fine. It doesn't matter. Box office will be it won't be fine. There's no conceivable way that it will be fine. You have too much cannibalization happening this month. Too much. Obsession overperforming and Backrooms overperforming is really, really, really good for right now. But what if that creeps into next week? Right? What if Backrooms is number 1 up against Scary Movie 6 and Masters of the Universe? What if it's Backrooms, Scary Movie, Obsession, and Masters of the Universe are the top 4? Like, that is, like, again, word of mouth throughout the course of the week. You got to be watching that shit. I don't think Supergirl's going to get it. Superman's a little bit different. That was Superman. Okay. And that was like after fucking Jurassic World. And no. What was it? It was, and then what was it at the end? I forget what came out last July. It was like Superman came out. And then was it Jurassic World after the fact? I think Jurassic World came out after the fact. What was right before it? It's been a minute. I forget. But you're talking about families. Okay. And again, like, people are going to pick and choose when they have too many options. Like the people who think of it like this. Who was the market for The Mandalorian and Grogu? It was families. Families went opening weekend. Okay. They didn't go the second weekend. Why is that? Because the average cost of a family of 4 to go is between $60 and $90 for a family of 4 to go see a movie. So they can't afford that every week. But Gen Z is a little bit different. Because Gen Z doesn't have a home, really, right? They don't have the job prospects or shit. I mean, look at Parallax. He fucking lives at home with his family and whatnot, and he does a lot of the work, and he doesn't ever go anywhere. He just stays at home and watches stuff on the internet, and then claims to go watch it in theaters. Don't think I don't know your secret, bitch. I'm gonna yell at you because I'm mad at you. But I'm just saying it's like there's a lot of that stuff anyway. Is this Interstellar bad or worse? I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta play catch up here. I'm far behind. Masters of the Universe sounds like a gay movie. It probably is, but it's going to be gay in the best way. All right, like just imagine it, like like Skeletor and He-Man. Fucking that could be interesting. I don't know. Okay. Side note, Jarbo, Dave Rubin on Jubilee is hilarious. If you're interested, I will definitely watch that. Yeah. Jess says, I'm going to force my sister to read Woman of Tomorrow. Don't. Not till after she sees Supergirl. Okay. The reason why I say that is because don't put the, don't put the idea of it, not of the story, which is going to arguably be better than the movie itself in her brain. All right. Like, honest to God, people who like read the original before the adaptation are never pleased. But if you reverse it and you watch the movie, then you read the book, you can see what's changed and you can be like, okay, if I appreciated the movie, then I'm going to appreciate the book, even though things are different. But if you go and you watch something and you read it beforehand, you're looking for things at that point. You are actively searching. I think it's called, oh God, it's like the RAS system or something like that. We're like reticulating something system. It's something we do intrinsically with identifying stuff. To give you an example, have you ever been like shopping for a car? You have your thoughts on maybe one, right? And then before you know it, you're seeing it everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you ever had that happen, or you're looking for something, or you're thinking about something, and then all of a sudden it's everywhere, and you're like, oh my God, like, how the fuck did this happen? How the fuck did I make, how did this keep popping up? How do I keep seeing it everywhere? Because you're looking for it subconsciously. I think it's part of your RAS system. It's like the reticulating something. I forget right now what it's called. Let me look it up. Because it's really like, it is a thing. All right. Okay, RAS system generally refers to 1 to 3 major concepts depending on your field of interest. Recirculating, reticular activating system, neuroscience. That's what it is. Reticulating activating system. To Google it, the reticulating activating system is a complex network of neurons located. Hold on, what does it do? Okay. It's, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Here we go. Okay, so it's called the cocktail party effect. Okay, so it is the biological mechanism behind why, for example, if you decide to buy a specific red car, you suddenly see that exact car model everywhere on the road. The RAS takes what you focus on and creates a filter to scan the environment for it, making it highly relevant for setting intentions and achieving goals. So it's the same thing that applies to reading the book, right? If you, not the Mandela effect, Mo, but if you sit there and you're reading it, you're looking for it. Okay. That's kind of the whole point, you know. Hold on. Fast and Furious just celebrated its 21st anniversary. That's crazy. When did Fast and Furious, when did that come out? That released on June 22nd. So that hasn't hit its 25th anniversary yet. And I say that because I started work at the drive-in like the week before. The June 15th, 2001 is when I started working at the drive-in, and the Fast and Furious came out the week after. That was crazy though, man. That was crazy. We had so many street racers there when that movie came out. So yeah, it hasn't hit 25 years yet, but it's getting close. It's basically there, right? Let's see here. Yeah. So, on June 15th, 2001, Lara Croft Tomb Raider came out, as well as Atlantis: The Lost Empire, which is kind of a banger fucking release date, isn't it? Both of those movies are fucking great, dude. I love both of those quite a bit. There's possibility of a new Conan movie, supposedly, and I think Arnold said this actually. Christopher McQuarrie is writing and directing King Conan, which will star Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that's gonna be what's gonna happen with that one. Hopefully it does. I want to see it. What do I think the big surprise cameos will be for Scary Movie 6? I don't know, man. I'm going in as blind as I can. I don't know if I'm going to have time to go see it this weekend or Masters of the Universe. My girlfriend just started work at a new job. And so she works an opposite schedule. Like, she has to be at work in like less than 5 hours. Oh, she has to be at work in 4 hours. So I got to be up with the kids at 7 a.m. to go to school. So I won't be streaming for super long tonight. You've heard that Disney is considering rebooting the last 3 Star Wars films. Not going to happen. They're not going to reboot it. They all made over $1 billion. In fact, the first one is in the top 5 highest grossing films of all time. What Disney wants to do is recapitalize on that. What they need to do is focus on the fucking Jedi and have it be a big, grand, sprawling event that actually is hyped up for being that. So, I don't know. Whatever the Mandalorian, again, good movie. I really like it. It has so many great moments, but that 9 minutes and 54 seconds just absolutely fucks it up. So, Masters of the Universe 1987 is better than the new one. Have you seen the new one, Anthony? Have you seen the new Masters of the Universe movie? I love the original 1987 movie. I'm going to watch it this week. So, but I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, I'm asking, have you seen the new movie? Because they did a whole bunch of screenings tonight. So if you've seen it, let me know. If not, you don't know yet. Just saying. But I appreciate you. Let's see. Brian here says, Robert Eggers got his next horror film this year for Werewolf coming out. I don't think I've seen a strong horror genre this year in a while, considering the buzz, obsession, and background. Yeah, but I think the Academy hates Robert Eggers, right? I do. I don't think they like him. I'm sorry. Lily Rose Depp really got snubbed for Nosferatu for Best Supporting. So Scary Movie 6 could also flop. I don't think it's going to happen. Wait, hold on here. Still in the past, the end credits song, which I don't remember. Oh, you're talking about Backrooms. Was like a techno remix song that dealt with how eggs get duplicated during fertilization. Interesting thematic choice for the final song of Backrooms. But no, I don't remember that. I wasn't paying attention to what that was, to be fair. I mean, again, like, it kind of happens when you got to watch most movies more than once. Have I seen the new trailer for The End of Oak Street? I haven't even seen the first trailer for The End of Oak Street. I did see the snapshots that were going around, especially about the dinosaurs, and I honestly, I'm a little disappointed. I'm like, really? But then I did see a little advert today that showed some lady getting wrecked by a raptor. So I'm like, okay, maybe that could be interesting. No, dude, there's nothing to spoil for Backrooms. Literally, there's nothing to spoil for Backrooms. Nothing. There's nothing that I could say that would spoil Backrooms, like legitimately. It is flat out, nothing can be spoiled. It's not a movie that you can spoil because there's no lore that they pull from, right? There's really no lore that they pull from that makes it something that you can spoil. It's just like, this happens, and then that happens, and then this happens, and then that happens, which is really kind of like, it's not what I'd call flat storytelling. It's a good story, but it doesn't know inherently what it wants to be. And it's relying on that in order to be able to sell you on the mystery, which I think that, like, there's a reason why it got the B- cinema score is because of that ending. That people walk out at that ending and they're going like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then they go, and then that's going to be, oh, would you recommend this movie to people? No. Would you want to see it again? No. Because of an ending that's not a satisfying conclusion. It doesn't need to establish a setup for a sequel. It doesn't need to end it definitively. The character needs to have something that ultimately, like, gives closure to everything that they've been through in that moment, right? I was talking about this with Fourth 1000. And no, hold on. The End at Oak Street is definitely not a Cloverfield movie. So, but anyway, the whole point with that is, like, look at The Matrix. I was talking about this with Fourth earlier today, and he was like, "Well, at the end of The Matrix, they kind of left it up for a sequel." I'm like, "Yeah, but at the end of The Matrix, Neo discovers he's the one. He accepts that he's the one. He destroys Agent Smith, and that's the end of the movie, right? Because that was him versus the antagonist." So the character, becomes the prophecy, defeats the bad guy. That chapter gets closed, but we do get the hinting of more to come with the way that The Matrix ends, right? With Backrooms, we get the hinting that more will come, but without any kind of real conclusion. It's just like, hey guys, more's gonna come. Bye. Like, it is. I would yell and scream at if I was shown that as a producer, and this was the ending they wanted to go for. I would yell and scream at them about that. I would be like, "This is stupid. You are wasting the audience's time if you do this. This is an absolute waste of time. If you're not going to give them a conclusion, then that is something that is going to bite you in the ass. But here's the thing, though. $80 million in its opening weekend, it doesn't matter what the fuck I say. Doesn't matter what the fuck I say. $80 million. Yeah, fourth. Yeah, I know. He's like, I've already seen Backrooms twice, which is crazy because that motherfucker falls asleep like at every movie. So go figure. Backrooms is like a big Xerox machine with edible people. I don't know if I'd say that. And that's why you're not an exec. I should be an exec. I am the one person that should be an executive for every fucking movie. I'm not even making that up. Because I always put the audience's expectations first. I always put the audience's at their enjoyment at first. It doesn't matter what the story is. I'm not even saying change the ending. You can leave it as it is, but give us a conclusion to the story. All right. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not, maybe the only thing I wouldn't really be good at in regards to like exec producing would be like, 18 plus fucking sex games on the Switch. Although I'd probably be pretty good at that as well. Right. Lots of fucking pubes, dude. Pubes sell really well. Something texture to look at. You guys are going, you guys are getting tomorrow to watch it. Nice. Richard Newby with his bad takes. Yeah, he doesn't like me. That's fine. Yeah, no, go ahead, send me the link for the, if you find the song, you can probably just Google Backrooms end credit soundtrack. Whatever happened to Nosferatu, he fucking burned up in the sun, dude. That's what happened to Nosferatu. Like, literally died to get pussy. It's a metaphor. That's the conclusion of that character, right? He died for the sex. How many men out there would die for the sex? The answer is a lot. A lot of dudes. A lot of guys would absolutely die for the sex. You find a girl with beer-flavored nipples, and that's going to be what launches 1,000 ships. That ain't going to be the fairest beauty in the fucking land. All right, you want me to believe that Helena Troy is a real person? You're like, she's got to have, like, beer-flavored nips. Anyway, Mo says, my cousin really wants to watch Backrooms, so you're saying it's watchable. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no. Okay, hold up. Let me explain. While I think that the ending of Backrooms is a cop-out, okay, it's a nothing ending. It's a non-ending. Everything up to that was good. Okay. Everything up to that was good. The performances from Chiwetel Ejiofor was amazing. Whatever Renetta Rensiv, whatever the Mary's name is, very good. The other two people in the movie, three people, were pretty good. Mark Duplass can usually do better, but I guess he was playing the character the way I think that character needed to be played. But that being said, man, like, it is an interesting story. But I don't want to say spoilers, but like, there is a point at almost the literal halfway mark of the film where I don't want to say what it is if you haven't seen it, because it zigs and then it just zags, right? And you're like, okay. Cool, I guess. All right. Oh, wow, that's fucking creepy. And then, from there. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's like the back act of that movie is where the problem is. And that's a lot of movies have that third act problem, right? They have that absolute third act problem. How do we land the plane? How do we make this movie end? How do we stick the landing? How do we finish telling the story? But because there's so much sequel potential, and because there's so much that they want to do, and because this is such a limited $10 million budget, and they only have so much that they can do with it, they do what they do with it in order to then find a way to just kind of like solidify it. You know what I mean? And I will say in my review, I bring up a t-shirt that was in there, and I totally forgot where that t-shirt originated. So it's one of those things, just pay attention to t-shirts if you're watching. So, well, okay, so here's the thing with that, right? So she says here, I think I'm drawn to it because I resonated with some aspects of both the main characters. Yes. And without going too deep into it, you can go listen to my Podio commentary, and I talk about the characters, right? Like about saving oneself and everything else. And those arcs, Like where those two arcs collide, I think narratively works. Okay. And what comes afterward is interesting and creepy. But I feel that could have been the end. That could have been the end, or maybe the setup for what comes next versus like what they did. So the arcs make sense, but at the same time, the position shifting or the perspective shifting, I think is a little bit, that could have been better. I think it should. I'll tell you this. Here's a way I would say this. To me, it looks like a movie that is like, it should have been an anthology TV show. And that would be another episode of the show, like at that halfway point. Does that make sense? Without giving too much away. Brian here asks, I'm seriously wondering how much Bruce Campbell can keep mentioning or mentoring the Evil Dead franchise. What are you talking about? Bruce Campbell's out. He fucking dipped a long time ago. He when they were working on Evil Dead Wrath, I think, or Evil Dead Burn or whatever the fuck it was, he dipped out of like being in any way a part of it. He said that. You can go and look that up. He's not involved in it at all anymore. Let's see. Spherical Man says, I would honestly say that Obsession fell flat for me because of the ending. They chickened out and didn't use the original ending for it, and I would have been more satisfied if they used it. Yeah, well, I think from what I read, wasn't Obsession supposed to go to YouTube? That was the goal. They were going to put it out on YouTube, and then they put it out in theaters, and it might look at like a $330 million earning off of a $750,000 film. I mean, that kind of money making is just unheard of. But I don't know the original ending, so I can't speak to that. But if it's a darker ending, then I can see, it's probably they probably capped it out to have the morality tale. I think is probably a reason, based upon what I know of the film, without giving too much away. Am I bowling Parallax tonight? Oh yeah, yes I am. Are you here to fucking clean up for him? I don't know, man. Why? Is he crying, complaining, coping, seething, dilating? I don't know. Okay. Bell says here, the only complaint I have is the two young actors didn't look the time. Well, what's funny about that is they didn't specifically state that it's in the 90s. They don't, I mean, you kind of get that from like the more liminal lack of technology angle of it, but there's that. Gun cultists attacking escape from my reboot because Zack Snyder is directing. Yeah. I mean, of course they are. Again, dude, no one on the internet's happy. Yeah, it's darker than how dark the ending they went with was. Yeah, like I've seen like headlines or snippets from an interview that are that kind of mentions some stuff. And that's the thing I hate about like these movies. If you don't see them right away and you're on social media, like the people just spoil shit. They just spoil shit, and that's hard. It's so hard to not have things spoiled these days. So there's that. But yeah, obviously, gun people are going to do all that. Okay. Okay. So Spherical Man sent me the song. Okay. Thank you very much. I will keep, I'll give that a listen to later on, because obviously I don't want to get fucking busted and shit. Okay. So, we've got a fun little thing today that happened. I don't know if anybody saw, but James Gunn showcased, he showcased the new suit. Right? The new, do I have that up here? Hold on. I thought I had that. There we go. Okay. So, the new Lex Luthor war suit. Hold on, Jess. I will get to the Jorge Gutierrez thing here in a second. So, this is the new war suit, that he put out, right? Everyone's talking about it. Let's go and try to bring it up in a bigger image here. There we go. Right? Looks good. But I am reminded of a couple of other things. I'm reminded of a couple of other little things, that kind of, the suit kind of reminds me of. Like you got Master Chief here. Looks a little Master Chiefy, right? I mean, that's a Mjolnir power armor. Obviously, that could be a thing, But then the other side of that I'm getting to that kind of gets me is it looks a little bit like Mysterio from the 1990s Spider-Man the animated series. Looks a little bit Mysterio. I mean, kind of hard if you come back and look at this here. I mean, all right, a little bit, right? There he is, Mysterio. This, I mean, kind of looks like that, little bit, right? The yellow dome, the green suit. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit more techno, but kind of the same. So I decided to ask AI to go ahead and give me an image of the war suit, but with the purple cape, and it is a striking resemblance to Mysterio. Look at that. James Gunn never beaten the allegations of going after and ripping off Marvel. Once again, I know his armor was always green and purple. It's the dome. It's the yellow fucking helmet. That's all it is. Looks a little bit Mass Effect. Looks a little retarded. Kinda, yeah. Looks a little Buzz Lightyear. Absolutely. Right? So it's like, everyone is ragging on this thing. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny that everyone's kind of ragging on this thing. And listen, I'm glad they're doing practical, but you're not beating the allegations that the shit looks like fucking Mysterio. I'm sorry. It is not happening. Okay. All right. So let's hear Jess here. Thank you, Jess. I meant to talk about that this weekend. I was working, I did a 14-hour workday. I'd like a 12-hour, then a 14-hour, and then like 2 like 8 and 9-hour shifts. So like I was just not wanting to record anything. So this Jorge Gutierrez thing, right? Now, for those of you who don't know, Jorge Gutierrez is the creator of the movie The Book of Life, which essentially is a much better version of Pixar's Coco. Coco is a far lesser film than Book of Life in so many ways. It's not a bad movie. It's just lesser. Okay. Book of Life, way better. Way better. But Jorge decided to work with Amazon to do what they were calling their Project Nara situation. This thing where they're doing this animation fund. It's AI assisted animation. They're working with Blender and Maya and a number of other programs. And so Gutierrez had pitched this idea of a character called Punky Duck. And Amazon had greenlit it, and he went to the AI on the Lot, this a couple day long event about AI and filmmaking that happened this past week, which, by the way, some cool shit came out of that. And he talked about that, and he basically said AI is like AI mixed with animation is like having sex. It just kind of births it, and then he was excited for it. And then people online decided to get like pissy little girls and go after him and start they threatened him, they doxed him, they went after his wife and his kid. And he, was like, hey, be mad at me all you want, leave my family alone. And obviously that didn't work out. And so what happened was he decided to pull out of the Amazon program and do all that. So Punky Duck is not happening that we know of. I have a feeling he'll still be working on it privately. And at one point in time down the road, when the conversation shifts and people are more open to the adoption of the stuff of AI involved in animation, then we are definitely going to see that probably come back and everything else. But in the meantime, right now, he bent the knee. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a big fan of bending the knee to the fucking mob. I never have been. I never will be. All right. I did it once before when I felt it was necessary over something that I screwed up on. And then people still, it doesn't matter if you apologize or not, people aren't going to be happy, right? They're not going to be happy. People were either going like, you're still a sellout or you're a cowardly bitch. And that's a lot of what was happening during that. That was a lot of what was going on. And this is what happens when you capitulate to the mob, when they demand you to change who you are, to change what you are, in order, and what you're passionate about or what you're interested in or what you're building or what you're creating, because they want to go fucking wah, 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 wah online, and then you capitulate to that shit. It makes you a bitch. And it's unfortunate. It's sad. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for the guy because it sucks, man. Nobody wants to go through that shit. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to be, nobody wants to be in a position to where they're kind of forced to capitulate to the mob. Nobody wants that. But unfortunately, that's what people were pushing for, and that's what ended up happening. So it kind of sucks. Snorlax cheers for everything. Yeah, RJ's a fat fuck. And here's the thing with RJ you have to remember. He's got no friends. No friends. Every friend that he has is online. And he ends up, destroying whatever friendship he can because he has to create chaos. Okay. He did that with Max. He did that with me. He did that with a lot of people. He's probably still doing that over on the K-pop Demon Hunters fan base that he's a part of. Which, by the way, there's a lot of shit that he retweets that's kind of sexually suggestive with the characters. And sure, canonically, the characters are over the age of 18 in the movie, but it's still a kid's film. And he's retweeting images of Zoe where she's got the strap on. She doesn't have a strap on attached, but she's wearing the material for the strap on, right? The holster for it, if you will, the brace, right? To put a strap on to probably fuck Mira with is probably more or less what it is, and he's out there just happily like, hey, if you're a minor, do not interact with me while I retweet K-pop Demon Hunter Rule 34 because I'm a fucking degenerate. And that's what it is. Why am I picking on RJ? It's easy. He can't really run very fast. So, anyway, let's see here. Jess says, I'm not a big fan of attacking the family. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this is the Jorge thing. I'm not a fan of it either. You see here. Music Man says, I asked ChatGPT why there is so much pushback. It says people are embracing and pushing back simultaneously. That is true. We are seeing a very large group of people that are pushing, that are for the AI coming in. They're more open to it, I should say. I don't want to say they're fully embracing it, but I'd say that they're more open to it. And then you've got people on the other side that are they're feeling that shifting. So they're doubling down. They're tripling down. They're crying. They're coping. They're seething. They're super upset. They don't know what to do. They're just like, oh my God, I don't know. I have no idea. And, as a result of that, they get real angry, and like the thing is, a lot of people who are pro AI are absolutely under the impression that there is a mobilization that is happening, to where things will turn violent. And, I caught Donovan 2 weeks ago where, retweeting somebody who was calling for violence against people who are pro AI. And when I called it out, he deleted the tweet and then he blocked me, which is really funny considering that, like, he still stalks everything that I say. So when I say that there is, quite frankly, a situation where, people who are anti-AI are going to start acting violently, I think we are there. I do think we are seeing that. Let's see here. Music Man says, I'm getting sick and tired of Seth Rogen and his AI shit. I've never liked him anyway. Here's the thing with Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, I think he's a great producer. Okay, I like Seth Rogen a lot. I'm not going to shit on the guy. I like Seth Rogen a lot. But he's also a company man, right? So he will do everything in his power to protect what he has. He's a producer. He's been a producer for years. So he produces a lot of stuff. So as a result of that, he's not going to want to sit there and do anything that might jeopardize his particular standing. So that's why, like, he threw James Franco under the bus. That's why he's anti-AI. But at the same time, all of this stuff will eventually become way more democratized. And as it becomes more democratized and as more people get on board with it, we're going to find ourselves in a situation where people like Seth Rogen are going to have less influence on the industry, and they're going to have to go back to their roots in order to be able to more or less like continue moving forward with their career. So we'll see Seth Rogen come back out, like do 50-year-old Cheech and Chong-esque stoner comedy. All right. Because he knows that sells and he knows that's what his audience likes. All right. We're in this weird place right now where I think people just want to laugh and they don't really give a shit. And they're tired of being told what they can and can't laugh at. You know, like I'll give you an example. Not that I'm defending anything that Jeremy Griggs is saying. Okay. But I was watching a video today from Arik Debunks. Okay. And Arik was going off on Jeremy Griggs, Geeks and Gamers, doing a video about the Odyssey. All right. And Jeremy says a lot of very ignorant things. There's no denying it. But Jeremy also knows how to make people mad. And so he kept dead naming Elliot Page. And every time he dead named Elliot Page, Arik would have he Pavlov dogs it, corrects him, right? So Jeremy would say Ellen Page, and then, you know, you would just see Arik perk up, come back, Elliot, right? He'd say Ellen Page again, Elliot Page. And I'm watching this thing, and I'm going, like, for one, I realize now that reacting to these guys is the stupidest thing you could ever do, right? Like Arik at this point, I can't with him. And I'd love to have a conversation about it just because it's like, it is, in my opinion, the silliest thing. Because I watch this man watch other people and he forces himself to get mad, right? Like they say dumb, ignorant shit, stupid shit that's not even fucking funny. Okay. But then he's funny because he overreacts to all of it. And he honestly jumps to conclusions and he'll jump ahead. It's like, it's watching five guys. Okay, think of it like this. It's watching people with only 5 things to say get responded to by someone with also only 5 things to say to debunk those other 5 things. At some point, it just becomes an Ouroboros. It's a snake eating its own tail. There's no value to it. There's no cultural value to it. If you're going to spend 45 minutes or if not longer watching a video on a live stream, reacting to it, downloading it, editing it up, and then putting it out there. And I tried this myself and I realized it was the stupidest thing I could fucking do. Because what am I going to say? For one, that they're not, anyone listening to it is not going to, is going to hear the same thing every single fucking time. Every single fucking time. They're going to hear me respond with the same comments, responding to the same bullshit, debunking the same lies, time in and time out, every movie that comes out until the end of fucking time. Right? You know, that's what it is. That's all it is. It's like it's Sisyphus pushing that boulder up a fucking hill. That's all it is. And I can't help but like think it's like there's more things to talk about, right? There's more things, like you're not changing anyone's mind. You're reinforcing your audience. The audience might grow a little bit, but like Arik and Dane from Fandom Actual, whatever, or Actual Fandom, same fucking concept. It's just like, let's react to these chuds. Okay, well, they're saying the same thing, so you're saying the same thing. So no one is doing anything different. This is the literal definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather masturbate. I mean, clearing my head is a lot more of a creative endeavor than just watching the same idiots say the same thing over and over and over again. There's no nutritional value there. And you don't even have to like what I have to say. All right. But I at least try, for one, to like have, at least to know my shit and at least to be someone worth having a conversation with and being able to engage with. But it's like, if you're going to sit there, for one, if you try to tone police me, eat shit. Okay. I hate that shit. All right. I try to be respectful, but if I fuck up, don't fucking tone police me. Because I think that's ridiculous. And if your entire video responding to somebody is trying to tone police or language police them, then you're just being a bitch. You're nitpicking you're just being a nitpick. And all that's doing is just reinforcing where you stand with your audience and shit, who are already fucking bitchy, whiny, angry people who are just, again, not going out there and like enjoying what they want to enjoy, but are having to rely on like literally the opinions of douchebags to try to justify whether they are happy or angry. Masturbating is good for the prostate, the more you know. Hey, man, if you're over the age of 35, I think you should be doing it at least once a day. Or at least, I think, 21 times a month, I think. So, every other day. But really, every day. I'm just saying, the more you know. Okay. Be slanging off some knuckle children. Let's see here. Hold on. There's a super chat from H-Barts. Thank you, buddy, for the $5. If Snyder gave Lex the suit, people would have gotten mad. But since Gunn didn't, they can't say anything. You can't say anything. I mean, well, there was a suit that was talked about for that. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And it's really bad. Like Jesse Eisenberg's power suit. There's like a thing about that. It's pretty terrible. So. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the fan suit for this is apparently this is fan made, apparently. Jesse Eisenberg armor custom figurine, right? This is like what his war suit would have been. So people are sharing this around as, I guess, being the thing, right? As being like what it looks like. And so that's it right there. That's like, so yeah, I mean, and so, but again, gun runners, gun nuts, whatever you want to call them. They're out there going like, this is really what Zack Snyder wanted to do. Honestly, I do think that is better than this. I do think that's better. I don't know why. I think it's better. Not to say that either are great, but I think this is more in line with what I think would be something that Lex would do. Right. But James Gunn apparently says that the glass here is called Lexiglass or whatever, like for the helmet. I don't know. We'll see what it is. We'll definitely see what it is. But it's one of those things where, Anyway, a lot of dumb shit. Thank you, though, for that. Okay, let's see. Spherical Man says, I got suckered into a Dane video over the weekend where he was going to talk about a certain subject I was interested in. He wound up not getting to the topic about 45 minutes into it, then ended. Yeah, that sounds about right. Look, when you sit there and all you do is like smoke weed and cry about other people on the internet, that's what's going to happen. I mean, look, man, my live streams are terrible because I buried the lead, but it's meant to be like an ebb and flow conversation. That's what I do. Okay. Like I'm not sitting here with like a direct endpoint or whatever. All right. I like to fucking see where things go. That's the looseness of what I do. I'm going to get back to doing standalone videos tomorrow, but like I said, I was working 12 hours, 14 hours, fucking exhausted, and I'll tell you this, I was working 14 hours because one of our newer drivers who was like in his early 20s literally was like, I can't go. I had a later start time. And then he was like, I can't start. He had an earlier start time. He said he couldn't make it. So they asked me if I would take it. I said, okay. And then he was going to have a late night run, but he started later, and then he goes like, I don't feel comfortable driving for that long. So then they asked me if I would do it. And I was like, all right, fine. Cause I thought there was something going on with him. And then I found out that it's, like I thought he was too tired to drive, and I don't need a person on the road who was like passing out. Right. Like, okay, fine. I'll do it. Granted, I'm like double this kid's age. And then I find out I see him, and I'm like, why am I working 14 hours? And he goes like, oh yeah, I don't feel safe driving. I'm like, oh, okay. And he goes, I woke up at noon. And I just looked at him like, what? He's like, I woke up at noon today. And I'm like, dude, I got up at like at 9 and I came into work early. I didn't even get a nap. I haven't had time to stop moving. I've been moving. I literally 14 hours, nearly 14 hours, no break. And I'm just looking at him like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I have to go do your job. Because I thought you were not feeling well. So yeah. Anyway. Let's see here. Wait, hold on. He ended the stream early. Had to stay unsubstantiated after that. What do you mean? What? Oh, had to unsub after that. Yeah, I get you. Oh, look, shit. Oh, fuck. It's RJ. Holy fucking shit. Hey, listen here, you degenerate little bitch-tittied motherfucker. I'm not having a conversation with you that will not end in me shredding your asshole so fucking hard you can't sit down for a fucking year. Okay? You fucking drug my ass into so much fucking shit, and stupidly, I let you. Okay? Stupidly, I fucking let you because I liked you and I didn't want to see you get shit on by those guys. So I went to fucking war on your fucking behalf. All right. I did a bunch of fucking shit for you. I put myself in bad situations with people that I liked, ruined friendships because of you, because you have no fucking self-control over the amount of fucking shit you bring to people's fucking doorsteps, because you live at home with your fucking parents. You have no friends. You have no life. You have no girlfriend. You have nothing other than the fucking internet. I wish you fucking nothing but pain and anger and anguish and anything else you ever fucking do. I don't want to have a goddamn fucking conversation with you. All I want to do is laugh when I find out bad things happen. Okay, I want nothing but schadenfreude for you, for me to you, for the rest of my fucking life, however long that might fucking be. Because the last thing I'm going to fucking do is waste any more of my time trying to fucking deal with any more of your goddamn bullshit. Sort your fucking life out, you fucking bitch. Stop fucking using other people to get your fucking jollies by pitting them against each other. Stop it. I don't know what you're doing in the fucking K-pop Demon Hunters fan club outside of saying do not interact with me if you're under the age of 18, which is suspicious as fucking shit, by the way. So I don't fucking want to know what you're up to, because the last thing I want to do is be in any way associated with some pederast bullshit. So why don't you fuck the fuck off for the last fucking time and leave me the fuck alone? Do you understand me, Noah? Fuck you, fuck off, get fucked, eat shit, sit on a fucking goddamn pack of fucking razor blades. I don't fucking care. Please go the fuck away. That's simple. It's that simple. Get the fuck away from me. I want nothing to fucking do with you. You've already taken up enough of my fucking time. Hold on a second. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I removed him as a mod and I hit him on the channel. Okay. Sorry, give me a second. All right. Sorry. It's got a fucking... What were we talking about? What was going on? All right. James Gunn is definitely... Here's the thing. I like James Gunn. I do. I feel like he unfortunately is like, has to be everything for DC, and I don't know how well that's going to work in the long run. But like, look, man, I mean, The Belko Experiment is a badass movie. It has a great script. I like Super quite a bit. He directed that. Good script. Slither was awesome. You know, I like the Suicide Squad quite a bit. I think the scripting was great. The first season of Peacemaker was really good. The second season of Peacemaker was really good, minus the fact that like the ending wasn't great because it was like a fucking music video. But other than that, you know, so yeah. I like him. I just wish, I don't know, man. I think what it is, I think in many ways, it's kind of like, I do have a little bit of that chip on the shoulder about Snyder stuff, like about for Zack, not his fan base, because you know how I feel about them. But for the most part, it is, what I like is I want to see Zack, you know, kind of, I want to see him finish his story. I want to see anyone finish. I want to see James Gunn finish his story. I want to see all, you know, I'm glad he got his third Guardians film. You know, So yeah, I'm just I want to see any creator get the opportunity to finish their story. And that's one of the things I really dislike about Hollywood as a whole is everything, is all that shit. So yeah, sorry. Let's see here. It does feel like you have that chip on your shoulder. I'll admit it. I think what it is I'll tell you, okay, let me tell you what I really dislike. I don't mind if you don't like Zack Snyder. That's not my issue. My issue is the people that devalue the work that he did. Okay. Like, I may be critical of James Gunn for like what I feel is too much in the public eye over the marketing of these movies. Because I think it's kind of corny. But then again, I also dislike film marketing in general. I think film marketing in general is ridiculous and doesn't really move the needle, and it's just a waste of fucking time. That's how I feel about that. But I feel like Zack Snyder, definitely could have probably been a little bit better in regards to, like the handling of things with the fan base. That's a problem. But aside from that, I'm glad he got to see his conclusion. I'm bummed we didn't get more, but we got 3 excellent movies. But what I hate is like the people that sit there and try to sit there and go like, well, BVS sucked, and they point to the theatrical edition, and then you're like, well, did you watch the extended edition, right, the ultimate edition? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, you're missing a half-hour story. Then it does do a lot more to explain things and really kind of set everything up, and that was a much better version that is pretty universally liked. And then they'll be like, no, fuck Zack Snyder, the whole thing is shit. And I'm like, is it though? Especially when you talk to people about fucking Man of Steel. God, that one bugs me. Because I'm like, look, they took a character, they deconstructed that character, and they made him more human. And because they made him more human and they're going to build up to the Boy Scout, but they're taking him along that journey to get there, people got really mad about that because he wasn't what they wanted him to be right away. He wasn't Christopher Reeve, who Christopher Reeve was the Boy Scout from the beginning. And it's like humans are messy, sticky creatures. Okay, like we get things wrong a lot, and you can't be human without making fucking mistakes. You can't be human without having regrets and doing like zigging when you should have zagged and all those things. And so if the concept of Superman is to be able to like, if the only thing holding him back, like literally the only thing that's making him stay the goody two shoes is that he doesn't have control over how other people die, which is in many ways bullshit because he has control over how a lot of people die, but just not the ultimate death. You know what I mean? And so it's like that whole concept of going like, well, he can only be X because of this. And I'm like, no, he can be messy. He can be human. He can have feelings. We got that whole bit from David Cornsweet in Superman where he's like, I get scared. I get afraid. And it's like, that was a human moment. And I thought that was a good moment, And then, of course, that the Crypto attacking Lex kind of destroyed the fucking emotional core of the scene. But, whatever, man. Got to have your comedy in there. Can't rest on it too long. Can't have emotions. Emotions make you feel things. Feeling things is kind of gay. You can't do that. But I feel like with Snyder, he was really trying to get a character of Superman, a characterization of Superman that was getting to the point, right? And then everyone goes like, yeah, but like, what about like Jonathan Kent? Like that was a beautiful death. And this is the thing. It was a father sacrificing himself. It was a father making that choice. It wasn't Clark making that choice. It wasn't Clark having something come along and make it for him. Like that wasn't out of control. It was like his father was more concerned with keeping his son's secret because the world wasn't ready yet and let himself go in the process. And people got really fucking mad at that. And I'm like, do you not understand that scene? Like, have you just never had a conversation with your father? Like, what the fuck? It's so fucking weird. It's so weird. It's like there's literally lines of dialogue in the flashbacks when Clark is a kid about how like the world isn't ready for him yet. The whole conversation about like those kids drowning in the thing. Should I have let them drown? He's like, maybe. Right. And it's not him saying yes, but it's him like running through the scenario in a realistic way. Like, what's more important to Jonathan Kent, those kids living or his son? And you ask any fucking parent, I'm fucking sorry. You ask any parent, who's more important, your kid or their kids? They ain't going to come out there and be like, well, little Billy down the road, he makes a good rhubarb pie. No, they're going to be like, my kids, bitch. It's like they had a realistic approach to parenthood, and fucking Superman fucking idiot fans can't handle that shit. They cannot handle that shit. They have to fucking, it makes them fucking quake in their boots on that. They can't take it. They can't take a realistic approach to the character as much as they possibly can with a guy who can fucking fly, is impervious, has fucking freezing breath, laser vision, and most likely is like better than Deadshot with his fucking cum. You know what I mean? It's just the stupidest fucking shit. It's just the stupidest fucking shit. Like, am I going to go see Supergirl in theaters? Yeah. There's a fan screening, and I have the day off of work when the fan screening happens. Ooh, no, there's a fan screening. I'm going to try to go. It depends if I had to pay like $30 to go see Superman in the IMAX in Regal and Lacey last year, like $30. If it's $30 this year, I don't think I'll go. But if it's something that's going to be, if it's cheaper, I'll go see it. You know, forget escaping New York, restore the Snyderverse. Yeah, there you go. Right. But I'm just saying, okay, yes, rhubarb pie is good, but you guys get my point, right? They were trying to do a similar arc with him, like what MCU did with Cap, but it failed. But DC failed it miserably. What do you mean by that? Like, what are you talking about? Like with Cap going back? What I want to see Zack do a found footage movie. See, this is a great question, Tony. This is why I love you, buddy. You got good questions. No, I don't want to see Zack do a found footage movie. Let me explain. I tell this story actually pretty frequently. So let me go and find it real quick on the YouTubes. Okay. So here, I'm showing you guys this. If I could remember which tab I'm on. There we go.
53 years ago, 9 people set up camp in the Ural Mountains in Russia.
There's a point to
this. It had become known
this.
as the Dyatlov Pass incident.
Are you scared?
No.
We're recreating a trip in which 9 people died.
Yeah, what, like 50 years ago?
Time to go.
It's a test, you know? Man against the elements.
Guys, say hi from Ibdel!
Come look at this!
What is it?
The GPS is all screwed up.
We should just leave.
By the time we get packed up and get moving, we're gonna be hiking in the dark.
You gotta reset it now.
Ah! Ah! They tried to bury us so it looked like an accident.
Help!
Where'd he go?
Now, you're probably asking yourself, why did I show this trailer? So I don't know if you can see it over here where my cursor is, if you can see that right there. That says Aldemisa. Aldemisa. And that's a production company that I worked with when I was in LA. In fact, I worked on this movie. I was brought in March of 2012, more or less, to become the viral marketing manager for this movie. I pitched them their entire marketing campaign for this film. And here's the biggest problem with it, is that they did not listen to me. But that's not the point. The point is, I want you guys to see here, directed by, okay? Now, we can go back and we can find that particular slug they put in there, right there. From Rennie Harlin, director of Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2. Okay. Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2 are action movies, right? They're action films. They're not a documentary. They're not a point of view found footage. Okay? That's the whole point, is you have an action director, and I love Rennie Harlin, especially like his 90s run was great, right? I mean, I've got Long Kiss Goodnight on fucking 4K. I've got the 4K of Cutthroat Island. Cliffhanger's an amazing film. Die Hard 2 is a great movie. You know, fucking Deep Blue Sea. I need to go and they're releasing a new Steelbook for that. I don't want it. I need to go get the Arrow box set. But the whole point is that this movie is one that is directed by an action director that is a found footage movie. And when I read the screenplay for this, Parallax, it's got a good twist. It's got an interesting twist. I'll say that. Yeah. It's got an interesting twist. It's do you remember Parallax in the movie when they mentioned conspiraleaks.org, right? They mentioned conspiraleaks, right, in there. That wasn't in the screenplay. I'm actually the one that suggested that, and I actually had the domain name for it. I'm the one who owned the domain name. I bought it when I was working on the movie just to have it locked and loaded. Anyway, can we call Die Hard 2 Die Harder the title of this? I mean, well, Die Hard 2 is Die Harder is a fun title. But anyway, to go back to the point, Zack Snyder is an insanely visual director, is insanely good visual director. All right. Like his visuals are really good. His stories, I'm a little bit concerned about, to be honest with you. I really like the, director's cut of Rebel Moon. I think those were actually really good. The, Rebel Moon theatrical, I wouldn't watch. And anything that's a PG-13 theatrical cut of anything Zack Snyder, I wouldn't watch unless he says this is the definitive version. Because we know that he always does that. He always has something more. And so Devil's Pass here is not the greatest film. I mean, they fired me after they showed it to me. The day after they brought me in to their Sherman Oaks office to go up to like their boardroom and watch the movie by myself, back in, was it June of, like, it was either May or June of 2012. So 14 years ago. And I watched it by myself and I was so excited. You guys have like no idea. I was like, oh my God, I'm watching this new movie. This hasn't been seen yet. This is so great. And then I told them the truth about there's some flaws with the film. And I wasn't bashing the movie. At least I don't think I was bashing the movie. It just said there's some flaws with it. And I'm like, but I liked it. And maybe I said it wrong. Maybe whatever, but I told the cardinal, I committed the cardinal sin of Hollywood. I did tell the truth. I'm not good at those kind of things. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I can't sugarcoat it. I cannot lie. Literally. I have a propensity against it. If it's something I care about, I can't do it. And so that ended up being the reason. So it goes back to the Zack question. Could Zack do a found footage? I don't believe so. I don't think he'd be able to navigate it in a way that would make it feel realistic. Same problem Rennie Harlan had. The movie doesn't feel realistic. Even in the final climax of the movie, which is where those creatures were. The twist, I'll admit, I find interesting. But where those creatures were was something that never really felt the most realistic, right? Because it was too well lit. But if you go and you watch Rec, 2007 Spanish film, REC, that one feels pretty realistic, and that deals with something not similar, but kind of similar at the very end. But it was all about the presentation and all about the lead up to get there. Do I think I could have directed Devil's Pass better than Rennie Harlan? 1,000%. Because I have what got me the job to work on that movie was they brought me in and I sat down at their conference table and there was like the head of every department there. And we spent 2 hours talking about found footage movies, talking about movies in general, low budget indie films, whatever. And every question they threw at me, I was like, I'd go into detail on, right? I'm like, Clerks cost this much money. Blair Witch cost this much money. These movies made this much money in profit. It released here, it released there. I mean, like, I fucking was like on my game in that moment. And that's why they liked me. And then and then I'm like, but I didn't play the game because I don't know how to play that game. I've never known how to play the Hollywood game, which is why if I could find a way to make money to make my own point of view found, if I could do In Search of movies forever and then just like shoot them and then either release them for free on YouTube or put them up on fucking Tubi, and I could make enough money to do that full time and like not even be rich, but just like make like $60,000 a year to where it's a comfortable living, I would totally do it. I would totally fucking do it. Like, I would just do that for the rest of my fucking life, because like, I don't want to play that game. I think for me, like if I was like Curry Barker and I had like that $750,000 movie on track to make an estimated 330 million worldwide, I would lose it. I would fucking lose it because like at that point you can never live up to that expectation ever again. Kane Parsons can probably never live up to that expectation ever again. If they do Backrooms 2 and they don't explicitly talk about explaining the lore at the end of number 1, Backrooms 2 won't live up to the hype that it's already gotten. And this is a problem with the law of diminishing returns from Hollywood. And it's not to say anything personal against those filmmakers, because they've both done excellent work, but it's a reality of the business. And that becomes the biggest problem when discussing the business with people online, because people online only read the headlines, right? They only read the headlines, and that's where they get pretty much like 90% of their opinion from. So, okay, hold on. The ending of Dawn of the Dead was like 2 minutes of the found footage of them on the boat. Okay? Like 2 minutes of that. That's not what you would call found footage. And if you're talking about the special edition DVD with the guy from across the way doing his video logs and whatnot, that's not found footage either. I mean, it is technically found footage, but Zack did not do that. That was not Zack directing that. That was done by Universal for the DVD. I don't know who wrote those scenes, but they got the actor, and it's a cool little side bit for that. But that is not found footage, dude. That is like 2 minutes of just holding the camera and having snippets of scenes. So it's not the same thing at all. In Search of 2, The Hunt for Jeffrey Epstein. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm going to St. Bart's, baby. Could you imagine that? I'm like, hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. I'm here in Tel Aviv, and I'm doing and this is In Search of The Hunt for Jeffrey Epstein. And it's like day 1. So I'm in Israel, and I need to find out how many Epsteins there are. Israel. All right. Yeah, Zack is a very particular director. He excels with darker themes, CGI, ridiculous fight scenes. He does. Let's see. God damn it, Jarbo, just chill, and you could be directing In Search of 2 right now. Yeah, well, the story that I've got for In Search of 2, I'm actually really excited about. But I am tempted to do something beforehand. I kind of mentioned this the other day. I want to do one where I'm the star of it, and that has a lot to do not with I'm like being egotistical. It's just that like I kind of want to test my acting chops to see if I could be more believable. But I don't know if people would buy it. You know what I'm saying? Could people buy me as a mid-40s divorcee? A guy down on his luck, right? Living out of a motel, trying to solve a mystery. People could buy that. I think people would buy that shit. I'd be down for that, you know. But I just feel like, dude, I don't want to do like I at this point, I'll tell you, maybe it's true. Maybe I'm at like where I'm at is I'm just kind of intimidated by Hollywood. You know, I'd rather just kind of operate on the edges. You know, I'll admit that because like I have enough, like every time I have a viral tweet on Twitter, and I've been having quite a few recently, I just filled with like the bullshit, like stupid shit I said like 15 years ago, you know, and it's just frustrating. Because I know that anything I do that ends up getting some attention is going to end up having that come back up, you know. And but I mean, if James Gunn can make the jokes he made and then go take over DC and shit, I think I'm probably fine. The polar bear thing, that's going to be a tough one. But I mean, obviously, I've, you know, completely apologized for that and the stupidest shit ever. But, you know, but I think I don't want to see Gina Davis looks good in Long Kiss Goodnight. Well, yeah, she does. They were married at the time, by the way. And the Oscar for Best Director goes to Matt Jarbo for his first Oscar. Yeah, kind of. No, it'd be very stupid. Make your character have an unbridled hate for Paw Patrol. You know what's really funny is I had some passengers the other day and their kid had a fucking Paw Patrol thing, and I made a comment about it. I'm going like, I just looked at it and said like, Paw Patrol. And the parents are like, I know. And I'm going like, am I the only one that hates liberty? And they're like, no. They're like, no, you're not the only one. Between Curry and Kane right now, Curry has bigger expectations to meet because he already has another movie coming out, and then he's doing Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, I would say because he's got one coming out that's so quickly coming out, it's there's not going to be, well, maybe that's going to be put up at the expectations and shit. Yeah, I don't know. It just depends. I think Curry is definitely, he's the older one too, 26, right? That's not young by Hollywood standards, but like that's enough to be able to like really get in there and and make a name for himself. And I really do wish both of them exceptionally well. Like I really do. I think they're gonna open the door for a lot of younger creators and a lot of different auteurs that are going to be able to come on in and really kind of start having a new voice, and that new voice that maybe the younger generations will want to work with, or they'll vibe with, is what I'm trying to say. And that's going to be a good thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, who knows what's going to come out of any of that? I'm hoping good things. Again, like I said, despite my criticisms over the ending of Backrooms, I think 98% of it's great. I like the cinematography is wonderful. The soundtrack is good. The sound design is amazing. The liminal space, how they shot around that, how they made it look, almost like very daunting, but also very full. You never really know what's around the corner, but you never really feel like you're looking at nothing. It was very well done. Very well put together. Chiwetel Ejiofor, I mean, great acting. The other lady, can someone answer me this real quick? Was that her mom or her dad? I'm just curious. If you know, you know. It's just like Spaceballs, Matt. It's just the old one, but newer. The search for more money. I hope so, yeah. You are redeemed for hating Liberty. Dude, I've been hating Liberty for like 6 years now. Fucking hate that dog. I hate that dog so much. Even the parents that were hating on that dog too were just like, we're joking around like, yeah, what's up with Liberty like doing one thing with Paw Patrol and then being like, I'm on the team. And they're like, yeah, what's up with that, right? Fucking pushing all the other characters out. It's her mom. Okay. I mean, it is definitely, I don't know who was the actor of that one there. Who was the actor? Let me see here. I'm trying to find that out. Who was the actor who played the mom? Let's see. It was I don't know. Do we know the name of do we know the name of the mom? Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was I don't know. That scene was a little bit weird. That was a little bit weird. Let me see here. Okay. Oh, there's already lore videos. There's already like lore videos about that, I guess. Craziness. Crazy. Oops. I'm trying to find the thing for it. All right. If I can find the wiki, that's what I'm trying to find. Let's see. Sorry, I know I'm trying to look here. I'm trying to figure it out. Because the thing with we can't talk about it. I'm just trying to see if there's anything there about okay, it was a woman. It was a woman. Okay. They had some weird shots with that. Did I get the super chat? I thought I did. No, I did not. I'm sorry. Thank you, buddy. Imagine if Gunn did Daredevil. Holy crap, that would be awful. Probably tons of fart jokes and not taking anything serious. I think there would be jokes, but I think there would be seriousness as well. I do. I do think that there would be seriousness on that one. I do. One of the things that if you go and you look at, let's say, Guardians 3, that deals with trauma, that deals with a lot of those kind of ideas. So that would probably be something that would work out well for that kind of story. But like, would the action be good? You know what I mean? Like, would the action live up to what they could do? And I don't know. I don't know. I do feel that there's a lot there that he could do with that. But then again, I was watching Spider-Man No Way Home tonight. My girlfriend's on the Spider-Man kick right now. So we're watching No Way Home. Like, you know, but then like Charlie Cox pops in as Matt Murdock, and I'm like, that's my boy. That's my Daredevil. That's my DD. You know, so I can't see anyone else in the role at this point. But I don't know if it'd be kind of weird if he did that though. Let's see here. Hold on. There was a MST3K Easter egg in the movie. He was watching Santa Conquers the Martians, which is a movie that MST3K would later do in the timelines of the movie. Well, I do know that Santa Conquers the Martians is definitely one that MST3K has done. I actually had the DVD of that. I found it for like $1. I have it somewhere. I do have it somewhere. Let's see. Tomorrow is the trailer for Adam Wingard's new film coming out. It sounds awesome. Oh, yeah. I saw the poster for that one, right? Let's see. H-Bar, it's for $10. Hell yeah, brother. Wow, did I drop a bunch of viewers or what, man? Holy shit. Dropped down to like 9 people, but that's all right. We're kind of winding it down. Could you imagine doing a Batman movie, but you don't follow Batman at all, and it's just following some random civilian and you never see Batman? Oh, wait, that sounds like Resident Evil. You know what? Here's the thing, man. After the success of Backrooms and Obsession, you know what I realized also real quick about Backrooms is it's elevated horror. I don't know if Obsession is elevated horror, but Backrooms is definitely elevated horror. But I think that Resident Evil is going to make a lot of money. I do. But I don't think it's going to make a lot of money because it's Resident Evil. That makes sense. I think it's going to be a decent horror film that they're going to like. That's kind of what I think it is. So let's see here. Resident Evil has no competition in September besides a Coyote movie, which people won't show up for. Yeah, Coyote v. Acme is not going to make back the $50 million that they spent on it. I want to see it, and I hope it does well, but it's like, again, it's that concept of like, I don't know. Now, but, well, to be fair, you know, James Gunn did write it, and he will probably end up doing a lot of the marketing for the movie, you know, because quite frankly, like, fuck David Zaslav, right? That's going to be a big one. And so, I mean, it could do well. It could do well. I'm hoping that it does well. It looks funny, but it also looks more like just like a courtroom drama. So, Resident Evil looks shit. I don't know. I think it looks like, if you remove the Resident Evil part of it, it looks okay. If you like, I like the idea from what Zack Krager was saying in the movie. There's an IGN interview where he's talking about like how the main character kind of like levels up his weaponry as time goes on. Like he starts with the pistol, then goes to the shotgun, then gets the MP5. I kind of dig that. But at the same time, I feel it's like it's only going to be, you know, in name only. Because we all know that what is Zack Krager's favorite Resident Evil game? Resident Evil 4. Which is why there's a bunch of Resident Evil 4 Easter eggs in the movie. I don't quite know. Some parts of Barbarian were 100% inspired by RE7. See, I haven't played RE7 or seen Barbarian, so I need to. But then again, you know, someone brought up weapons the other day and said, like, how is it that police didn't track the kids via the Ring camera to the same location? You know what I mean? It's like weapon. This is the thing with weapons. Good concept. It's kind of got a piss poor execution, right? Like Aunt Gladys was cool, and you know, winning the awards is good for that. But it's like the concept of weapons is just it's kind of dumb, and that there's a reason why it's more like an anthology in regards to like following different characters to kind of get to the same story, because he couldn't have enough there to pad out one character following that character's journey all the way to the end. So he writes multiple characters and multiple perspectives in order to fill up the hour and a half needed to get the movie done. All the while you're going like, yeah, but why are the kids called weapons? Because Josh Brolin has a dream about one kid with an AR fucking 15? Like what? The kids, you know, oh, but the end of the movie, they were used as weapons. Yeah, but she wasn't using them as weapons. They were literally just the fountain of youth. You know, it doesn't, so it's like, it's the same thing, same problem I had with Sinners. where it's like Sinners as a title is a cool title. Weapons as a title is a cool title, right? If you can make a singular word title work, good for you. But there's nothing in the movie Sinners that has anything to do with good versus evil. It's all about like, it's literally about like hive mind versus not, which is really not even good versus evil, because the vampires are actually like making some good arguments and shit. You know what I mean? It's so dumb. Aunt Gladys was a huge letdown when she revealed to be the reason the kids went missing. Yeah. You know, I mean, like, it was still a good movie. I still liked it, but I'm just saying, it's like, once you start, it's the same thing with Backrooms. Once you walk away from the movie and you sit there and you distance yourself from the movie and you start kind of thinking backwards, you start to see the flaws in the narrative and the flaws in the presentation, right? The cracks begin to show. That doesn't mean that it's bad. That doesn't mean that you're not having a good time or you can't have a good time. No movie is truly perfect, right? There's always things that kind of come out. You know, I was watching, again, going back to No Way Home. I got the extended edition of No Way Home. That's what we were watching. I hadn't seen the extended edition of No Way Home. So we were watching that, and we get to some of the extended scenes, and I'm like, oh, I see why these were removed. It kind of opens up a bit more of the lore, kind of, but you can see why it just completely stops the movie kind of dead in its tracks. And it's like, this kills the pacing. And so you got to worry about that, right? And so that's where it's like, when you're going to do these kind of stories, you've got to have, like, you know, I don't want to say breakneck pacing, but good enough pacing and good enough escalation to get to the end in a way that is satisfying. All right. I don't think the ending, this is maybe the thing, I don't think the ending of Backrooms is satisfying. It's not satisfying to me because of the way it's presented, right? Because of the way that it leaves us hanging. It's not a satisfactory ending. Now, does Weapons have a satisfactory ending? Yes, it does. Gladys gets torn to shit. Okay, that's a satisfactory ending. Kids go home, some recover, some don't. Okay, fine. Then you get into like Sinners. Does Sinners have a satisfactory ending? No, it doesn't. Because the ending of Sinners is something that was tacked on that had very little to do thematically with the story. And it completely just like diverted, right? Aunt Gladys dying at the end of Sinners makes sense because of where everything is going. She's the antagonist. She therefore must be stopped. Okay, so the antagonists of Sinners are the fucking vampires. They get killed, and then here come, like, it'd be like playing a video game where you're going up against the final boss. You kill the final boss, and then the secondary boss shows up and is all like, "Sup, I'm here to fight you now." And you're like, "Yeah, but I just killed your boss." Yeah, I'm still gonna fight you, you know. And then that because he's a substandard fucking bad guy gets wiped out pretty quick. That's the whole point. The Backrooms kept getting better. I'm surprised you didn't fall asleep, man. I claim to be no. What are you talking about, dude? I'm not nitpicking to nitpick. If I have a critique over something, it's not like that bowl was there that should have been there. That's a cinema sin. I don't get it. Am I not explaining it well enough? Do I need to explain it better? Like, I just want to know. Do I need to explain it better? Like, ask direct questions. I'll give you direct answers. But like, you always do this where it's like you make these claims and they bother me because I'm just going like, am I explaining it wrong? Am I not explaining it correctly? Am I missing a point? Am I going on too long with something? Like, I need to know what you're looking for so I can then convey it in a way that's not going to be like you jumping to conclusions, because you do this a lot. So I don't know if you're at work and you're hearing something and just tell me specifically. That helps. Thank you. Anyway, it also rained during Raccoon's. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, RE2. Yeah, it was raining. Anyway, so the post credits for Sinners not worthy of an ending. No, they come back. Dude. They go and they find Preacher Boy. It's like 70 years later. All right. He's in his 90s. He's dying. Did you see the name of the bar? Pearline. The first woman that he had sex with, the first pussy that he tasted. Okay. All right. And Jamie Lawson, very attractive. Right? But the first pussy that he ate and that he tasted and that he fucked, okay, fucking dude spent 70 years pining over that pussy. Pining over that pussy. That pussy wasn't even his. That pussy wasn't even his. He didn't marry it, right? She was already married. That woman died a fucking whore. She died a harlot, right? She went to a fucking juke joint to get drunk and get some noob virgin to fucking sniz in her snaz. And then she got fucking turned into a vampire and died. Her husband's at home going like, where's my wife? Where's my wife? Where's Pearline? Where's Pearline? Where's Pearline? I don't know where Pearline is. And then like fucking doesn't ever know. Never knows what happened to his wife. Because she fucking literally evaporated into the fucking sun. Right? But then this guy's like, man, that was the best pussy I ever had. Shit. You know? And so 70 years later, I'm going to name my bar after her. Name my joint after her. It's the dumbest fucking shit. Dumbest fucking shit. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. You feel like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm on the backrooms thing. Okay, so fourth year says he feels like it gave him a logical conclusion instead of a Hollywood one. It gave it wasn't a conclusion though. That's the whole point, right? I don't want to go into spoilers. That's not an ending. That's not a conclusion. It's okay, this now has happened, but what does it lead to? Her ending it on a question is not a conclusion. It is logical that a person in that position at that point would ask that question. That is logical, but that's not a conclusion. All right, that's not like that's not a thing. They're leaving it open-ended for the sake of leaving it open-ended, but that's not a conclusion. That is just an ending. Right? Because it's like it ends the scene halfway through. Now, if it would have ended with a proposition from the other guy, not sexual, but if it would have ended from a proposition from the other guy, that would have been at that point, then the audience would go, huh, okay, what's she going to choose? Because it puts the onus on the audience who's now looking at it through the perspective of that character, right? Because we already know that the other character won't have an opportunity to make a choice, but this character does. And therefore, if we're not given the actual conclusion, she was never presented with a choice that the audience could ruminate on. Because the audience would then see that as a conclusion, not a dead-end hangnail, if that makes any sense. Okay. Thank you. Okay, wow, we got some supers here. Thank you, guys. All right. We got Ahsoka. Thank you for the 10. If we get Denis, I can't say his name. I'm so sorry. Villeneuve. I think it's Villeneuve, right? Villeneuve. Anyway, we get it, Denny. You don't like MCU Star Wars. I think he's an okay director. I love his Dune films, especially since I'd read the books and I love Sicario. I wasn't a fan of his other stuff. I mean, Prisoners was fucking awesome, though. You got to admit, Prisoners was pretty good. I haven't seen Arrival. I think with Denny, here's why he says it, okay? Because he doesn't want people to ask him if he's going to go and do it. I think that's kind of the point. Is like he loves it. He's already said he loves Star Wars, but he doesn't want to do a Star Wars. So he doesn't want people asking him about doing Star Wars. I think that ends up becoming the bigger issue, right? So if the issue there essentially is, I love this, but I don't want to do this, please don't ask me about that, then that kind of becomes the aspect of it, right? That's kind of what I think he's talking about. Because the guy doesn't want to get, he's doing since in the last like 7 years, he's doing 3 massive Dune films. He has other things he wants to do. He's doing James Bond next, right? Like he's already kind of done with that. And to be fair, the Dune is kind of like Star Wars. It is very similar in some ways. Star Wars was inspired by the books. In some ways. So he's already kind of done that. He doesn't want to go back into it. He wants to go and do other things. And so I get that. And I respect that with the guy. I really do. But thank you for that. H-Barts for tenor. Thank you, buddy. I'm new to Resident Evil, but have done a bunch of lore study and love the series a lot. Just beat Village, and the new movie looks disrespectful to the lore. Hollywood keeps messing up. Okay, so here's how we got to approach this, right? So Hollywood is this is where Hollywood is at with this stuff. What they do is you get these producers. So in the sake of Resident Evil, Constantine Films has it. Have you watched? I don't think you have watched H-Bars, but you should watch it. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. The George Romero's Resident Evil documentary. Really good documentary. Came out a few months back. Really good documentary. And it talks about George Romero wanting to do Resident Evil. He directed the Resident Evil 2 commercial for Japan, starring Brad Renfro from way back in the day, and everything he wanted to do with it. And he wanted to do different things than what the original game was. But there was a reason for it, given how he likes to kind of like have his main characters be people that are like not traditionally white men, right? And so he wanted to do that and be a little bit different, but Constantine Films wanted something different and they couldn't figure it out. And so over the course of the years, Constantine Films has the rights to this stuff, and they have to keep making Resident Evil movies. If they don't, they most likely end up losing the license, going back to Capcom. So they have to keep making this stuff, putting the name on it. So they don't really have a vested interest in getting it right. They have a vested interest in getting it well enough, right? Or close enough. And that's kind of what happened with the Resident Evil, 6 movies that they did of that. And then Welcome to Raccoon City was one that was similar, but, I do think the casting of Leon hurt it. I do. I think the casting of Leon hurt it. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you're not going to respect the characters as they are presented, then I think people are going to tune out. And then look at the Resident Evil show on Netflix, right? You had Lance Reddick, dude, fucking Lance Reddick, man, fucking goat. May he rest in peace, playing Wesker. And a lot of people tuned out because of that. And I think there's something to be said about characters and casting in these things and being truthful to the characters. Okay. I do think that there is something there that does need to be said. And it is a downside that we have where, it's a hard conversation to have because you don't want to come across and be like, the whole like Helen of Troy conversation is a bitch, because a lot of none of the actors in the movie are Greek. Right. So then if they're not Greek, what does it matter what Helen of Troy is, but you go back and look at Troy, and Troy again is like, well, people of, either they were light-skinned Mediterranean, so to speak, whatever. All right. It's a tough one. It's a tough conversation to have, but video game people are way different than book people. Okay, they are. They're way fucking different. And at this point in time, you have a lot of people out there that feel jaded with some of these choices. But these choices come, to kind of get back to the point, executives will take pitch meetings from people, right, that will go in and pitch their idea for this thing to do with IP. What was Die Hard 3? Wasn't Die Hard initially meant to be like a sequel to like Commando, and then that ended up getting retooled into Die Hard? Or am I thinking of something else? It's or was it the Frank Sinatra? Because no, Die Hard was originally like, I think a sequel to like a Frank Sinatra movie from like the 70s or something. Where does the Commando thing come in? Does anyone know what I'm talking about, or am I talking out of my ass here? It's been a while since I thought about that. But again, these executives, they take pitches, right? And the executives want to get paid, and they got to get movies off the ground in order to get really paid. And so that's a lot of it. So they don't have a vested interest in getting it right. They have a vested interest in making sure it continues on. That's really all it is. Thank you, Rational, for $5. Says Zack Krager says he doesn't want to tell stories of the game characters. So what happens when Sony asks him to do a sequel film? I don't think he's going to do it. Or he'll do something that follows the main character that might run parallel to Resident Evil, continuing on with Resident Evil 2. I don't know. It all really depends on how he wants to handle it. I have no fucking idea. It's one of those things where you've got, like, again, what does Zack Krager want to do? Because he went right off of weapons and started shooting Resident Evil. Actually today, for example, he parted ways with his agent or his agent, and he's not seeking representation, which tells me that he is going to go into these meetings directly, and he's going to start demanding a higher piece of the pie without needing to pay the agent fees. So he's moving into a new category, And that's going to be a very interesting category, nonetheless. All right. Thank you very much, Ahsoka, for 10. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, talking about Denis still. Okay. The guy is just become insufferable, pretentious at times. All the success he's getting has been getting to his head. I'm saying this as someone who's been looking forward to Dune Part 3. I think it's hard when you have films like Dune that are, like prestigious, right? They're prestigious and they're blockbusters. And that's a tough one, right? That's a tough thing to continuously do, especially when the demands of the industry have been changing so rapidly because of COVID and AI and the cost of everything. Like, that's a big category. That's a big problem, And so that's a pretty big issue there, in my opinion. It's I get what you're talking about here. I do. I totally understand it. But I feel like we're in a situation where, like, these guys have got to figure out how to do all that. You know what I mean? Okay, hold on a second. So I got to use the bathroom. I've been on for 2 hours. I got to use the bathroom real bad. So hold on. I'm trying to find a video I can bring on real quick. Let's do, oh no, what's it called? Okay, here. We're just going to do this. If Sean O'Rourke is watching, this will piss him off, but that's fine. I really got to use the bathroom. So we're just going to do this real quick, and then I'll get to the rest of the super chats. And then I'll probably wind it down, because I got to be up at 7 a.m. to take the kids to school. So I got to be asleep in like an hour. So give me a second to go and use the restroom, and I'll be back, and we'll wrap it up in the next like 25 minutes or so.
Jawas don't like to read. It was a place where the most powerful kyber crystals were protected. Kyber crystals are what power lightsabers, and they aren't easy to come by. This is a map right to one. I know, R2. I won't be long, I promise. Buddy, don't worry, I'm just passing through. Relax, would ya? Like I said, I'm just passing through. That's it. Whoa, easy there. Hello? So you look over this place.
All right, the world between worlds. Good stuff there. Thank you guys for that. Here, if you guys haven't seen it, I'll post it here in the chat. There's a link if you want to pick up at the 5-minute and 9-second mark. It's good stuff. Okay. Thank you guys for that. I do appreciate it. It's, kind of, you do this for a couple hours. You got to go to the bathroom. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. H-bars for $2. What the fuck is going on with Narnia? Yeah, so Narnia is in a bit of a weird spot. Apparently, it's set in the 1950s, but it has contemporary music in it, as from what I thought I was reading. Not only that, but Aslan will be voiced by Meryl Streep. I'm actually not against that at all. But is it going to be a lioness or is it going to be a lion? We're going to have some people getting real upset about that. It's getting a couple weeks in IMAX, which will be interesting. Netflix seems to be embracing the IMAX, considering the fact that Cliff Booth is getting, I think, 2 weeks in IMAX by the end sometime. And then Narnia is also getting 2 weeks in IMAX. So I don't know what's going to go on with that one. Greta Gerwig obviously has got the clout after Barbie to kind of do what she wants. I'm kind of surprised she's doing this adaptation, which is heavily Christian themed, and I don't think she's Christian. So, I mean, look, I'm not Christian. I don't think I would tackle, if I was given the opportunity to be like, hey, do you want to adapt the Chronicles of Narnia? I'd be like, no, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. We go get Andrew Adamson, bring him back. Let's get a proper conclusion with everything, So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Narnia. It's going to be wild when we figure it out. Soka here for 5. Thank you. Says, I know that sounds unfair, but I'm getting tired of the MCU hate. It reminds me of Star Wars prequel hate. Well, I think it's a little bit different. So the MCU hate, I think in many ways is just, I'm not agreeing with any of it. I think the MCU is still pretty great. They've done a lot of good. They've given us a lot of great entertainment now for 18 fucking years. And sometimes I feel people forget that. And sometimes they stumble, sometimes they fall, but they're pretty good at picking themselves back up and moving on with that. So that's really good. Star Wars prequel hate, I think was just at a time when people didn't really know what to expect. Because if you go and you look at the contrast between the handcrafted originals and then you put them up against, the more digitally crafted prequels, it is definitely a paradigm shift, right? It's a total, or no paradigm, it's a tonal shift. It's a cultural shift. And so that was also the birth of like the CG movement. And Lucas is not, he was surrounded by a lot of yes men. Okay. The dialogue in Phantom Menace, not great. The dialogue in Attack of the Clones, also not great. But Revenge of the Sith was pretty dope. But I think by that point in time, there was more people helping him kind of land the plane. So I feel like there's that. But over time, people have grown to really enjoy the prequel trilogy. And I think the people grew to enjoy the prequel trilogy in many ways because of the Clone Wars. That show was utterly, utterly fantastic. So thank you for that. Also, $10 from Ahsoka. You are rocking it, man. Thank you. It says not only that there are people out there tend to think that all MCU fans, that's all that MCU fans watch, when I have a lot of other stuff that are in different genres, not only into Marvel Comics or MCU. I mean, there's a lot of Marvel Cinematic Universe content out there, a lot, probably more than there needs to be in some ways. But then you also have like fragmented stuff, right? Like Cloak and Dagger and the Runaways. There was, I get, again, the original Netflix stuff wasn't connected. Now it is. We don't talk about the Inhumans, but that's the thing. You've got MODOK, the animated show, which was great. Never only got one season. I wanted a Howard the Duck show. I really wanted to see them do The Offenders. I bummed that we never got that. So, yeah, but I get it. There's a lot of other stuff to watch, a lot of other things that you're into. But again, people like to be reductive in their insults. It's hard not to, let's be fair. It's difficult to not be reductive because you only have so much time to land your blows. So you're going to go for what's probably going to be like the most impactful. So that's probably what it is. But thank you for that. And then also Ahsoka here says, I just finished watching Hokum. It was fantastic and made me emotional at the end. Really? That movie did not seem to, I'm not against it. Let me explain that. I'm not against it. My issue with Hokum is it looks kind of hokey. But if it's good, then I will, I will definitely take a watch of it. There's, like I said, there's stuff I want to see that's out there. But yeah, where is it on digital or is it still in theaters? Again, it's so hard for me to get to the theaters these days. Because I today, for example, got the kids and took them to school, came home, had to go back to sleep because I didn't get home till 3:00 in the morning. And then, I slept all day, got them, ran errands, came back. Girlfriend came home. We had dinner. She went to bed. They went to bed. And now I'm here going like, well, shit, I got to be up at fucking 7 a.m. Son of a bitch. son of a bitch. So, but yeah, thank you for that. I do appreciate it. And then let's see here. H-Bars for $2 for send a PayPal note. Oh, let me check my email. Thank you, H-Bars. I'm kind of afraid, to be honest with you. Let me see here. I'm assuming it's a patio, right? Is that what's going on? No. Okay. So he says here, so one thing people always say about the new Resident Evil is Krager does not want to mess with the game lore. Okay, then don't do Resident Evil at all. Should Peter Jackson have not done Lord of the Rings? Then also people say, well, Resident Evil 7, like, yeah, it's Resident Evil 7 is number 7. It has the ability to try something new. Are you saying that he should have done Resident Evil 7? I think I get what you're saying here is that, like, if you're going to adapt a game, then adapt the fucking game, right? Like, you want to adapt the game. You don't want to sit there and have it do or be something different. That I get. The game itself has also kind of gone and done different things. But should Jackson have not done Lord of the Rings? Well, I mean, I know he should have, but like there was also a lot of restrictions on Lord of the Rings as well, right? So there wasn't like as much of an open sandbox as maybe, or open playground as much as doing Resident Evil is. If I'm getting you correctly, if I'm not, please let me know. So thank you. Okay, let me catch up here. Okay. All right. Hokum is on digital now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I like Adam Scott a lot. So, let me see if I can find it. Huh? It's not where I thought it would be. All right. Okay. So we got about 9 more minutes before I close it down for the day, just because I got to try to wind down and get to sleep. So let me take a look here at the Chizzy. Chizette. And yeah. All right. Anyone here watch that Jack Ryan Ghost Wars? Jack Ryan worth getting into? Because I've always enjoyed the character, and I like John Krasinski a lot. I just never saw the show, so I don't know if it's any good. Okay. Where am I at? There we go. Playing Iron Lung before I watch the movie. Yeah, let me know how the game is. I've watched a couple of videos of it on, believe it or not, on Markiplier's channel to get an idea for what the game is. I want to watch Iron Lung. I need to watch it. I've heard that I've heard that it's boring. I've heard that it's boring. Let's see. Right now, people have criticized fan service in anime. That's weird. I thought fan service was I mean, well, I guess what fans is there? Which anime? Wouldn't there be? I mean, is it just the franchises that have fan service? You were thinking that I was having a fight with the plunger? No, I have a plastic plunger now. I ain't gonna break this time. Ha ha ha. Did I get the 007 game? I have not got the 007 game yet. I haven't been home for one. It's just been, again, I was working so many hours this weekend, so I just haven't been. And then I'm like, when I'm tired, I'm tired. You know what I mean? It's fucking, it's difficult because I want to be creative. I'm working on some stuff, and then it's like, you know, and it's everything else. So I want to get it, but I was watching some videos of it, and oh my god, it's Hitman. Oh my, it's fucking Hitman. It is absolutely Hitman. I was watching, like, I can't even stress it enough. I've played. There's even like they've reused assets from Hitman in fucking in 007. All right. Oh, fan service means gratuitous sexual content. That's not really fan service though. So you just say gratuitous fucking sexual content. But I mean, like, AKA anime titties. I mean, is it in an anime that could be a thing, or is it like in an anime where they're like all 12 years old and in, you know, middle school? Because that's a no. That's a no. Mo here says, stop pushing me, Spherical Man. I'm getting him the fucking game. Well, it was rational, Mo. It was rational was bullying. No, he wasn't bullying. He was not bullying you over that, but it was rational. Anyway, it's not Hitman gameplay is different, but it's the same engine. No, I know that it's like not Hitman. You know, I understand that it's not kill everybody sandbox type shit. I get that. It's a linear constructed, you know, moment to moment gameplay, license to kill eventually. But like, not only like, it's like the character models are very similar, the walking mechanics are very similar, the crouch mechanic, like even the level layouts are very similar. It is Hitman to its DNA, but it is also 007. But it does play different. But it is also Hitman. You could see this being you could see this being like a prequel to Hitman. All right. So it's kind of hard to pay attention to the chat when I'm driving a fucking submarine in Iron Lung. Okay, I mean you're I think piloting a submarine. And then getting mad at the wrong people. So maybe that should be pay attention to the submarine. H. Marshall says Donovan thinks he's a Bond fan now. Yeah, I mean, have you seen the gooning over the Bond game? There's a lot of gooning going on in that game. There's a lot, like there's this one character, I don't know her name. All I know, she's in a red bikini. I see all these guys are just like retweeting it, like, oh yeah, look at that ass. Oh, it's perfection. I'm like, dude, guys, there's way better things to masturbate to. Holy fucking shit, what are you guys doing here? You know, I just kind of crack up at all that crap because you're just laughing at like all of this nonsense. You know, all these people are just like fucking losing their shit. Okay. There we go. All right. Where are we at there? Ahsoka here says, I do love anime manga and the constant criticism when it comes to anime titties. I love all types of anime and manga. I think you can like that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like an anime. It's not for me in many instances. It's not for me. But there is good shit out there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. 007 Bloodstone is also a fantastic game. It has Daniel Craig and Judi Dench doing the voice and mocap. They got Judi Dench to do the mocap. All right. Let's see here. It's funny how much backpedaling the anti-woke grifters are doing in regards to 007 First Light. Yeah, I've seen a fair amount of that. That kind of cracks me up. Like, this game is woke, man. You got women telling you what to do, and like, whoa, look at that ass. I can't believe they put that in a video game. That's kind of gratuitous titties. And you're like, well, you're confused now, aren't you? I know. Confusing boners are the worst. Because you're like, I feel like I should be mad at this, but at the same time, my penis is very happy. It's very crazy. I don't get it at all. So, that's some wild shit there. I just, it's so, what gets me about it again is like people are just looking for things to be mad about, right? They're legitimately just looking for reasons to be upset. And it's like, why are you upset? Right? Like show me on the doll where this touched you. You know, what makes you so fucking mad? And it's just like, you know, it's just fucking ridiculous. Like everyone just needs to be upset over something. And it sucks because it's like, you shouldn't be. Like we love movies, right? Right? Like we love movies. We love all this kind of shit. And it's nothing but a fight. Like I'll give you guys an example. I was just looking at this. If you want to see just general, like again, nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking and the dumb argument shit. All right. Like look at this. This is Donovan because this is literally from 27 minutes ago. Okay, I have a post here about the Mandalorian and Grogu talking about some stuff. So he says here, I find it funny that he never used to mention this marketing as a tax write-off argument until Sean began using it a couple of years ago. I never really brought up the budgets a lot back in the day, but I brought up a thing here about fucking Mandalorian and Grogu talking about how Hollywood accounting is bullshit. Now that I have talked about, but because I bring up here factual data about the Mandalorian and Grogu, tax information, right? Well, that's fucking big. There we go. Okay. Like I bring it up here. Okay. And it's like, then Sean says, you know, for someone who works full-time in the industry, I'm glad you're including film incentive money that offsets the cost of making the film. So many creators do this and they should. Okay. So this is just more information. This is how I think. Data. This is how I think. So then Sean's like, thank you for bringing that up because that's a factual thing. And then Donovan's whole thing about that is literally just like, I'm critical of you because I don't remember you saying this before. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I say that people are fucking mad and that they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just like a dumb, panicky animal that doesn't understand anything. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Is Judi Dench dead? I don't think Judi Dench is dead. I would remember if Dame Judi Dench is dead. Judi Dench. She is 91 years old. Dame Judi Dench is 91 years old. Crazy. Crazy to think that she was 71 years old when she played M. Crazy to think that, right? Let's see. Bloodstone. Did I ever play this Bloodstone video game? Is there a trailer? All right, hold on. Let's see. I'll make sure I'm on the right thing here. There we go. All right, I haven't seen this. I want to see this. This is Bloodstone. I recognize that from the opening of Quantum.
On here.
007, this is urgent. Grego has flown in a group of international terrorists for a suicide mission. We fear the attack may be imminent.
I never played this actually. That does look pretty fun. Let's see here. The only Netflix Marvel show I liked was Daredevil, but even that show had issues, especially second half of season 2. Jessica Jones. What are you talking about? The second half of season 2 was great, dude. Dude, fucking, oh my God. Like the first half of season 2 was awesome too. But I like the second half a lot. The stuff with the hand, it just led into the to the Defenders as well as, well, it led into the Defenders. So it kind of had to be there, but it definitely, was good. Also, but the rest of the Netflix shows you weren't a fan of. Oh man, Luke Cage season 2 way better than season 1, and I liked all Jessica Jones, and I liked Iron Fist a lot. So let's see. H Barts here says, I watched Robin Hood over the weekend. People nowadays would be mad about Morgan Freeman, but the movie actually makes sense since he's a warrior from the Middle East who Costner saved. Yeah, I don't think. Well, I mean, like Isaac Hayes played him in Robin Hood Men in Tights, and so there's a lot there about like I really enjoyed Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I don't think people would be mad about Morgan Freeman playing in the role. It wouldn't be. I don't think the people being mad would probably be like lefties that are just like butthurt over everything. That's mostly what I think would probably be the thing. Would be that, and because they get mad over everything. So yeah, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage is awesome. Yeah, man. Yeah, I liked Luke Cage a lot. Really enjoyed Mahershala Ali in the first half of Luke Cage season 1 was great. But then you get to Diamondback. Dude, Diamondback was a weak-ass villain in Luke Cage. But fucking Bushmaster was great. Mariah Stokes. Anyway. Alan Rickman, Sheriff of Nottingham, should be recast with the black guy. This isn't fucking Harry Potter, dude. Come on, man. What are you doing to me here? What are you doing? What you doing, H-Bar? No, you can't do that. Oh, good Lord. I don't even know what's going to happen with the Harry Potter thing. I'm still like, I am worried. You know what I mean? Like I am. I'm legit worried. Oh shit. I kind of forgot about this. Okay, hold on. So let's talk about Zack Snyder and fucking Escape from New York. I meant to get to this eventually. So we're gonna wind it down here after this. Cottonmouth was amazing. Yeah, Cottonmouth was, man. I also again enjoy Iron Fist. So Zack Snyder tackling reimagining of John Carpenter's Escape from New York exclusive. Studio Canal and the picture company are behind the hot package, which is being taken out to studios and streamers. So who's going to get their hands on it? Considering that it's a property that came out in 1981 and those guys are now Gen Xers or Zennials or late stage millennials or the boomers, my money's on Amazon. My money is on Amazon. It just feels right. It won't be Paramount because they don't got the fucking money for it. Let's see here. The singular filmmaker. Okay, some folks may have heard that Snake Plissken is dead, but Zack Snyder is not one of them. The singular filmmaker behind 300 and Zack Snyder's Justice League has come on board to write and direct a reimagining, can't say I'm a big fan of that word, of Escape from New York, the classic dystopian action movie from John Carpenter that introduced audiences to the cool eye patch wearing, cobra tatted anti-hero. Sources tell. Wait, hold on. What is this? The classic dystopian action movie from John Carpenter that introduced audiences to the cool eye patch wearing, cobra tatted anti-hero. Named. Right? They're forgetting Snake Plissken right here. The anti-hero Snake Plissken. Who wrote this article? Boris Kidd, you fucking hack. I'm kidding. I like Boris. I follow him on Twitter. He seems like a nice enough dude. Anyway, so the feature project is being put together and will be taken out to market in the coming weeks and marks the first concrete steps of getting an Escape from New York movie up and going in years. If I recall, wasn't the guys behind Radio Silence recently attached to it? They were the ones that were recently attached, and then they went on to go and do The Mummy. So okay. Although I kind of feel it should be flipped. I think Radio Silence would be good to do Escape from New York, and Zack Snyder doing The Mummy would be fucking legit. You give Zack Snyder an opportunity to pull off an Indiana Jones type story, I think he'd do really well at that one. But anyway. Okay, so Studio Canal is producing. Zack Snyder will also produce alongside his wife, Deborah Snyder, and Stone Quarry Production, which will be a part of it. Carpenter is involved, serving as executive producer. Now it says here Snyder's take on the materials being kept in a briefcase, which is a reference to, I think it's this. Is it the second one? Because the first one was the daughter. No, but the daughter was carrying a briefcase, wasn't she? Anyway, but it is known that Snyder aims to make a more down and dirty movie using plenty of practical effects or locations that, like he did when he remade Dawn of the Dead as his feature debut, than something more overtly slick, such as his later superhero flicks, including Batman v Superman. Dude, Batman v Superman filmed in Detroit. There's tons of practical stuff in that movie. Like all of his superhero films have been quite practical. Maybe I would say 300 would be like the one that shot on green screen. You know, that's the thing. That's what I don't get. That's what I'm having trouble understanding here. Okay. And you figure that, well, again, they're just pointing out look, all this is done for SEO. So those movies are searched for more than, let's say, than let's say the other. Okay. All right. So Hollywood has been attempting to mount a redo for a long time. No, hold on, shit here. For years, but it's been tricky to get anything to stick. New Line had the rights for a period that saw Len Wiseman, Brett Ratner, and Breck Eisner among those playing musical director chairs. Now, Breck Eisner would have been good. Breck Eisner, he directed Sahara with Matthew McConaughey. He also directed The Crazies remake in 2010, which is a really, really good remake. I'm not a fan of remakes, but that was a good one. And then he also did The Last Witch Hunter with Vin Diesel, and I think he's doing the sequel with Vin Diesel. But he's also the son of former Disney CEO Michael Eisner, just so you guys know. And then there was Gerard Butler was attached to play Pliskin at some point, which was kind of caught a little bit of flack. Then Lee Wannell was also involved, and then Radio Silence was also involved with the more recent incarnation. Okay, so we don't know if this is going to actually happen or not. They're trying to get a studio on board. So that's really what they're trying to do. So this is going to be a lower budget movie, I think. Snyder's in the midst of taking a sidestep from zombies, superheroes, and starships, the genres that made him one of the town's biggest filmmakers, although people on Twitter would have you believe that that is not the case. And is in post-production on his long-in-the-works passion project, The Last Photograph, an indie drama set in the South American mountains. That's one he wants to take to festivals to see if he can get that sold. Zack Snyder shouldn't do an MCU movie. I agree. Sneck Plissken, yeah, that's true. Let's see. Not a fan of Zack Snyder, but it'd be funny if Snyder directed an MCU film, since a lot of DC fanboys would be fuming. Oh yeah, it'd be funny as shit. I don't think he's gonna do it, but it'd be funny as shit. I would laugh. You would laugh. We would all laugh. It'd be a great time. Tons of laughing all the way around. Holy crap, guys! Nothing but nonstop hilarity. Nonstop fucking hilarity. But I am curious to see what happens if and when Zack Snyder tackles this project. I think that him doing something kind of down and dirty is great. You know, the 300 Dawn of the Dead, lower budget films. I mean, like they're good. They're gritty. They're fun. Watchmen is amazing. You know, Man of Steel is amazing. BVS Ultimate Edition is amazing. Zack Snyder's Justice League amazing. Army of the Dead, a lot of fun. Kind of want to see them. You know, it mixed some genres together that may not have worked as well as we would have liked. But at the same time, you know, the 300 or was it Rebel Moon director's cuts are fine films. Fine films. Laughing at the La Quinta Inn. If you know, you know. How much you want to bet, dude? How much you want to bet? If that gets picked up by Paramount, those dudes are going to lose their shit. They're going to be like, nah, this is just him like working a deal with them, man, because they're going to own Warner Brothers, and then he's going to come back on in. I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't fucking no idea. Palpatine whispers to Zack Snyder, do it. Yeah, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. But all right, guys, I do need to get to bed because I got to be up in about 6 hours to take the kids to school. So thank you all for hanging out tonight. We'll probably do some more stuff tomorrow night. Cause again, I'm in a similar boat now till the kids get out of school. Everyone goes to bed early. I'm a night owl, but I still have to be, whatever. And yeah, and then I'm trying to learn again more how to do some of the AI stuff. So we might go AI stuff tomorrow night. That was a lot of fun last week. I got a lot of love for that. We can talk about how to build AI stuff together. And yeah, and then also piss off Donovan. I've seen the video where what if he did Captain America Civil War airport battle sequence? I don't like it because it gets less jokes and too much unnecessary slow motion. I will take a look at that. I mean the Captain American Civil War airport fight sequence is still top tier. It's still top tier. I love that fight sequence. It's so good. It kind of like, it shows that everybody's pulling their punches because they're friends that are fighting and they don't want to actually fight. But it just works for the dynamic of the Avengers leading into Infinity War. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of like, when you watch those movies, you realize how much care, love, and attention went into them. And that's one of the reasons why the MCU is top tier. The DC will never, ever, ever compete with will ever be able to compete with the MCU. Ever, ever, ever. And it sucks for them, but it's just the truth. So, all right, everybody, have yourself a great evening. Thank you again for watching, and peace out.